Welcome everybody. Today is May 6th, 2026. This is the Lunenburg Water District Commissioners meeting. We'll start by saying pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gentlemen, we have some warrants floating around and minutes I believe I received back. I would accept a motion on these.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of April 22nd, 2026.
Second.
Oops, I jumped on it. Call it a day.
Delaying
Aye.
things.
I'm trying to move.
Mr. Chair, our last meeting, we did it actually like spot on. The superintendent was impressed.
I was proud. Maybe it's the chair's fault.
Nope, not at all. You're doing a great job.
You sure?
Yep.
The next thing we have on here is discuss financial proceedings regarding design and bidding municipal projects with engineering and town law.
He's actually walking in right now. so
And there's
come on up.
Boo walking in right now, so we will wait for him. Yep, yep. That's right there.
Let's come in right into the hot seat.
Well, he needs it.
No, we're gonna.
Right in.
He's keeping it going.
Right at it. We're just
Hey,
waiting
guess
for you.
what? We're right on your agenda. We're ready for
You're
it.
on camera.
Yep.
Come on in. And we got a hot seat for you and everything.
Hope you didn't need any prep time.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Afternoon.
How you doing, Lou?
Traffic wasn't bad, so doing good.
Okay. So,
So we're gonna discuss the financial procedures regarding design and bidding municipal projects with the engineering firm Time Bond. I'm assuming there's some questions on this, that's why Lou is here.
Yes, it was mostly on the presentation of how the process works for funding,
Okay,
and this is more directed to maybe answer those questions.
Sure.
You want to see how things, I don't know if you want just like a typical municipal project. I mean, this isn't like we're building a home and go and get prices from,
correct.
10 people, this is a municipal process, so it's different.
Sure, I mean, do you wanna just give us a brief synopsis of that municipal process, and then if we have any attacks on that, we can.
Sure. So the municipal process is fairly standard, and the SRF program kind of takes that standard format and formalizes it with a series of milestones. So they take the typical process and then they put in a whole bunch of like check-in points along the way.
Okay.
So for an SRF project, it starts with project evaluation form. So this is just, hey, would you guys consider us as a project that you would fund, right? And then they score all the applicants that they receive. They tell you, yep, you're on the list. These are the typical steps we want to see going forward, which kind of mirror the typical process. So step one is they require you to appropriate the funding. So
Does that mean via the vote, or?
correct.
Okay,
Yes, an official town or district
understood.
vote to fund the project. For SRF, it's the same every year, where in June, by the end of June, that vote needs to has to have taken place, or you move off the funding cycle and then you're free to apply again the next year.
Sure.
Staying the course, you vote to approve the borrowing. Then by October of that same year, you submit design plans.
Okay,
and your official loan application. That's where you officially apply for the loan. And then,
okay, just, if I could just kind of go with it, because this has come up before, when we went through this cycle last time, there was a lot of questions and, I don't know what the right word would be, about this loan. People saying that even that we were on the SRF, they mean like we don't have the loan. There was a lot of clamor back and forth on it. Yeah, can we can you dive into that a little bit more?
Do you remember that, because we did the
I
original
do
Hickory Hills,
recall.
we added Lancaster,
right,
and that was the big complaint, that the residents didn't feel that was actually true, that we had the Lancaster tied to the Hickory Hills.
right.
So that's why this one we put both together, so this is confirmed,
So,
because they seem to have concern.
I guess more so, is there any, if this comes up again, if we had any documentation supporting what you're telling me, I mean, I believe you and I understand this how it works, I just, someone comes up and says, hey, even though we got the SRF loan, like you said, the official thing doesn't go in until months later.
Right, well, what's official, so what happens, we'll back up a second here. So you apply your project evaluation form, you say, hey, I'm interested in a loan.
Yes,
Then they issue what is called a draft intended use plan.
okay,
So it's saying, okay, all these people made the cut,
yeah,
these other people applied but didn't make the cut.
okay,
Then there's a public comment period, and then they finalize that list. So once they finalize, they have a final intended use plan.
mm-hmm,
That is them saying, as long as you comply with these milestones,
understood.
you will receive this money.
Now, when that is said, is the number assigned, the money's assigned to it, like in our case, 41 million or whatever, that is that, when they do that?
The final list?
Yes, okay,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
on
so
that
that's in
final
there
list.
and it's for a specific number,
Yeah.
yes.
okay, understood.
So, once you see that you're on the final IUP, the official list, usually, you know, there's no good time for, it comes out in various times, they keep slipping farther and farther in time. Anyway, it came out March, April of this year, which is on the later side, but is becoming more normal. Still, no slippage on the deadlines, you still have to vote the appropriation, regardless of when they finally issue the final IUP. Every other deadline doesn't change, so you have to vote by the June 30th deadline that you would appropriate the funds. By October 2nd, you have to submit your official loan application, so it's just more for like, okay, who are the people who are involved, who has the authority to sign documents, where's your evidence that you own the property where you're building your, just all the particulars that go into dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Along with that are the design plans and all the permits that go along with that. Now, 90+% of the time, not all of these documents are in hand by the October 2nd, so what happens is they review what you submit, you say pending, where it's pending, and then it's, you know, they issue a restrictive pack, which is basically saying, all right, this is your permission to advertise, to go out to bid, as long as you comply with these things.
Understood.
Is your design in that submission to in October?
Correct, yes, yes. So typically, there might be some like lingering, a lot of times the DEP permit lingers because they have a long turnaround time, so that'll be one. But, you know, that's in October. It usually takes them a couple of 3 months to actually even respond to you with what they think might be missing. And then the next major milestone is having the contractor under contract by June 30th of the following year.
Understood.
And then once that happens, you've complied, and then it's just executing construction.
If there's a delay, Lou, on some of the government work, do they give you an extension? Is that usually expected, that there's?
It's certainly not something you can expect. We have in the past requested extensions in extenuating circumstances, and they have granted extensions. I will say they have become rather strict on that policy these days. It's got to be a very good reason for getting an extension these days. You can still ask, but from what I'm told, because this past year they told us if we're not granting extensions.
Sure.
They told us that unless, and they won't say unless, right? They just say we're not granting extensions. People will still ask, and if there's some extenuating circumstances, I'm not saying they won't grant it. It's possible, but they've tightened up and they're being more strict than normal. It was kind of assumed you'd get an extension as long as you asked for it before. No longer make that assumption.
Sounds like they're just trying to get away from this.
Well, what they don't want is they don't want you holding up or carving out a funding allocation and not using
Not
it,
using
right?
it.
Yeah.
Right.
So they want it to be used by somebody.
What if they are the source of the delay?
That would be a different, I think, extenuating circumstance. I don't think they do what they need to, so they're not the problem.
Yeah.
And they work with their other Mass DEP agencies to get an understanding. Like, we just had to work with them on this last round. DEP was making us do some additional pilot testing, and they issued a conditional approval that allowed the process to go forward, and they said just forward the additional information at a later date. You can, so they'll Mass DEP technical review will work with you as long as you're not, as long as I can.
So my thing, just historically speaking, we were approved for 0% on 41 million last year. We passed that over, and it wasn't accepted. This year, we are approved for 2% on the 41 million. And if we pass that over, we're looking at doing this all over again next year, sticking with the current plan that we have. Am I right in saying that it costs $15 million roughly to go from 0% to 2%? And I don't even want to hazard a guess if we have to go to bonds or if we don't accept this funding now based on the plan that we put together, what passing this up may mean again.
I think you need to say that number.
I
We're looking at
see what you're saying.
85.7.
I'm just saying that, well, you mentioned it to me earlier, and I looked at it, and I needed to take the transmission main out from Keating's, because I'm trying to speak specifically on the SRF.
Gotcha.
And what the SRF was saving us. So we, based on this plan and based on our funding sources that we have, it cost us $15 million to go from last year to this year.
Sure.
And if we go from this year to next year, if there are no funding sources, which right now currently there are no other funding sources, we're going bonded, and it's gonna cost us even more than that to wait and try to go another cycle.
Yeah, so.
Because is there any more funding that is out there other than the SRF currently?
The federal funds that are available, what limited dollars that are left now, and the reason why you went from 0 to 2 is the diminishing availability of funds. So they got to the point where the money was dwindling down, they weren't having the infusion of cash anymore, so they had to make some decisions. Part of the way they were going to mitigate going forward was eliminating the 0% financing on the PFAS projects. So now a PFAS project will score higher than other projects, but it will not be able to get anything but the regular SRF funding, which historically has been at that 2% level. That's the typical one. Now, yeah, if you don't go SRF funding, yeah, you go out to a bond, you are at the market interest rate.
So if this gets voted down this round, we wouldn't be applying for the next round because we're pretty much gonna
Is it the middle of
miss.
July? Would they need
When
to be
is
submitted?
when would the next one need to be submitted?
Yeah, it's around they shift that time, that date around. It
June,
used to be
July?
August, it's backed
Oh,
up
okay.
into July recently.
Okay,
So that would be, we'd be skipping this year anyway, probably.
so then it puts us 2 years if
Could,
they
it
say
could be
no.
depending, unless, like, the reapplication last year was because it was actually fairly simple to reapply.
It was the
And-
same information, just change the dates and send it
Right.
back in.
Right. I don't know how many times you try to save the money and at a point we just wait until DEP mandates us to do it.
Well, that's coming, I guess they can talk about that too, so.
Right, but, and then the other thing to realize that what we're doing is we're not just doing PFAS treatment in this, and I think you're gonna talk about it later, but we're also doing iron and manganese treatment, so to get special, you won't get special funding on just iron and manganese treatment. There is no funding for iron and manganese.
Manganese is considered an emerging contaminant, but no, it does not,
But we could apply for the
score-
emerging.
You can apply, but yeah, it doesn't score as high.
Right,
Before PFAS, it did.
right,
Yeah.
but now PFAS became the super bad stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, Bill?
No, and, on which sheet?
Now, we can go over that sheet if you want, the estimates.
Well, that, yeah, so while we have them here, that was something, so I was looking at this.
You got this
These
one?
are,
Yeah.
this is something that you guys put together that kinda gave us a projected total on what we're, how you budgeted the project out.
Correct. Yep.
I got a few SRF questions, you want to wait till
Oh,
later?
No, I mean, this is,
My only question is, so we go and borrow the $41 million, and we go out to bids, and it comes in at 35 million. So there's contingency money tied to the 41, I mean, because we cushion that 41 to get as high as you could, so that we can fund everything. We cover up, who knows what's gonna happen in the bids. So you got that number as high as you can get it, with following all your percentages, like you said, the plan, treatment, design, there's a number, it only can be a certain percentage of the total cost, so you put it at the max, so all the numbers are cushioned to me, which is a good thing, so if we wanna add the Keating raw water transmission main, that there's money, hopefully, there's money that maybe we can put in, maybe not too, who knows, but either way, the money will be left. So let's say there's extra money over, leftovers, so it's 35, we get $6 million is just sitting there. The contract's 35, the water mains in the buildings, so what happens if something, change order or something, how does all that work?
Right, so the SRF program has a prescribed way that they deal with budgets and these things. So before you bid, they allow you to carry a 10% line item for contingency. So in the volatile market, what we want to do is we want to estimate a higher construction cost, because we can only carry 10% contingency ahead of bid. Once you bid, and you have an actual number, then you have to submit paperwork to the SRF program that details all of the particulars, for the results of the bid and sign off on what it is. So they take your bid result, then they allow you only a 5% contingency on top of that. That's as much as they'll allow you to add on top of construction and carry until along.
Would they allow us to add something that's part of our project, like the transmission main to Keating's, or is that always gonna be considered something outside the SRF funding?
It is something that is directly related and similar in scope. We typically do get those things added on. If you are within your budget, there is it has been in the past that you would be able to incorporate or expand upon stuff that's directly connected to that work. It's got to be close enough. You can't just say, "Oh, we also need a new tank." You can't.
We're not planning on it, but the thought is if, and I think that's where you were going, if we come in at 35 million, can we try to apply for the 6 million to add that on,
Yeah.
still under the SRF, which would, you know, be a great savings down the road, it would.
Well, I think from what I heard you say, and I don't know if you're wrong here, but like you said, as it goes to that second review, and let's just say this comes up to 35 million, so now you have that
Make
5%.
adjustments.
So I think that 5% now kicks into that, where you would have to tuck that into the 5% fluctuation from that
But
final.
what we would do is well, I mean, we bid it all out
Right,
under the same contract.
Sure.
With an ad alternate, so
Yeah.
that if it became a budgetary concern.
correct.
But like
So-
you were questioning, none of this can happen. You can't just go out and be like, well, it came in at 35, but we've got 41, so let's go fight.
Yeah.
So it has
But
to
that's
be
what I think.
approved.
Well, yeah, so I mean,
by-
what's
yeah.
happened
You
recently.
can't do change orders
Typically,
without
we,
approval.
I mean, a lot of times, you know, SRF had been proponents like, oh, use up the funds, use up the funds. They won't let you do that
Yeah.
anymore. So,
So you can't do anything outside of the scope.
No,
Without,
you have to, so you'll set that up initially, you'll get your 5%.
yeah.
We've even recently had issues using up all of the 5%. Like, they are very strict about what change orders they will allow you to
So-
approve.
So if there is a change order, it's covered under the 5%, or does it still need SRF approval even to do the change order?
Yes, the change order, yeah, so what'll happen is a contractor will say, hey, this is how much this change order will be, we'll review it, we'll say that sounds like a reasonable price. The board needs to approve the change order, and then SRF needs to approve the change order before they allow you access to the contingency funds.
So it's very
So everything's
certain.
controlled,
So this, this contingency, that's different from what you would put in as over, let's see, 5 to 10% overrun say, on the engineering service or on the construction? Because typically a construction bid will have that overrun feature, they usually call that contingency, sometimes they call that contingency.
It's the
That's
same
separate.
thing, it's just they only allow you to budget 10%, and then once you bid, use 5%.
It's just like a 15% buffer, basically.
No, so you start with 10%, after
this
you
is-
bid, it goes down 5.
So the contractor comes in with a 10%.
Well, the contractor comes in with their costs.
So
Yeah,
when the
but-
contractor comes in with a contract, that, like, this is how, as we discussed this a couple of times, when that contractor comes in with a bid for our project, I'm making up numbers here, he's gonna say, I can do this project for 31 million. That number, that contractor now is locked in with us for this project, that's how this works. What he's saying is, now that that number's locked in, that 5% only carries into that 10% was before just us estimating numbers, but once a contractor comes in, that number's the number.
Right.
But
And
typically-
that number plus 5% is your contingency. Or 5% of that
5%
number
is the contingency, but it's calculated based on their bid.
Yep.
right, but that's under our control, or change orders, or
Correct,
whatever it is. Yeah.
When the contractor comes in with his bid, do they normally provide you with their own contingency or overrun? So there's
No,
there's
zero.
nothing in there?
No, nothing.
Oh, they're bidding on the plans as you.
No. What they carry is their overhead, right, on the project and profit. And that gets whittled down by competition.
And again, picking numbers, if it came in at 30, they'd give you 5% of 30. And then the rest of that goes back into the pool.
Correct. Yep, they use it for, so if there's a budgeting issue where some other project was underfunded, it'll get shifted over there. Or they've always got, or they're always hoping that there's excess money for the emergency set asides, because there's always these emergency projects that come up, all of a sudden, something completely collapsed and the community needs emergency funds. So they have to have enough money in the trust to fund the emergency projects too.
I had a question about the timetable again. So if this were approved, we're on this coming October, DEP wants design work and all the agency stuff. Then that goes out, that'll go out for bid, and then beginning of next year, February, March timeframe, bids go in, and then construction would start 3 months later, something like that.
About this time,
Okay, so if it didn't pass, there's no way I don't think that we would, I don't know, but be prepared for a submission in July of '26, for another SRF submission in July of '26. I mean, it's June, it's not gonna happen in a month. Yeah.
It depends on what you're submitting. You can submit again in July. It depends on when you decide. Like if you decide 2 days before the deadline, it probably won't happen. But if you decide a month before the deadline, that's a more reasonable time frame.
So if we did do this one, I'm not sure what it would take. I assume the intent would be to do all sources. Where this one, Keating's pilot test wasn't even completed and approved yet, so this one's Keating's kind of left out of it. But now that is all complete, so would it be a big deal to do the whole system with all the sources in there, to tie Keating's?
So we would try to submit, you're saying for 50, not 56.
47.
We would try to go for the full 47.
Or both, a three-well solution.
Right. Yeah, no, that wouldn't be a huge change. It's it's basically adding the description of the water main.
So, okay, we don't hit July. Okay, so that's July of '26, so now it's submitted in July of '27. Which means that all things work out in the same intervals at least. That means construction would begin March, April of 20.
No,
Not
bids go,
necessarily.
contractors have to be under contract by June of the following year, so
Well,
construction.
Hold on.
Wait, you're saying we
Submitting.
missed this
We
one.
missed
right.
it, we missed it.
So we
We're now-
submit in 27.
Yeah.
Yes, we submit in '27.
You find out in 28.
Yes, and then we need to
And then you
vote on it
bid
in 28.
And then you vote, and then you bid in 29.
Correct.
So when would construction start if we missed this year?
It would start June of 29.
June of '29?
at the earliest.
Where do you see the 2% going?
That has been the standard SRF loan rate for as long as I can remember.
Okay,
The 20
So
year,
we
the
use-
20 years loan.
We were told 2.2%. So we do
That's for the 30-year run.
So we do 2.3.
I'm gonna try to.
what's,
Expedite this a little.
okay, just real quick, where are we next year? Is there still a pool of money that they're going to be giving out? My concern is, it cost us a huge chunk to wait a year.
Two.
Is it gonna, what's gonna happen down the road? Do you see the money as available as it is now for where we're at?
Yeah, there was a dramatic drop off in the funding round that you guys made it on to. Right? There weren't as many projects on that round. New projects, that is. I think there's a lot of projects that are still in construction, like carryover amounts, so they're sucking up
Right, yes.
funds as well. So we got dwindling infusions of cash, and there's still a bunch of projects. Every year we bid new projects, right? But every project takes 2 years to construct. So just those carryover amounts just keep taking up more and more every year, and with those going down. So it's you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna have more money unless there's another giant bill that gets passed.
So it'd be right to say that there won't be more money, but with where they're going to be more projects. And what's the likelihood of us getting approved for? Does it lower our likelihood of getting approved for SRF funding in the future?
It's tough to say. It's it's all on who else submits, right? If you're the only project that's submitted, you'd make the list. But it all depends on the competition and how their project scores compared to your project.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
No, this is all very, very good information. However, I'm gonna be frank with all of you. We've heard this before. Okay, this is nothing new. So my question to the board members here, are we in agreement that at some point we need to treat our water?
Yes.
That's a question to you, sir, and to you.
You're
Me
close.
first?
I'm asking you,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. The only thing that would be, the only thing that could possibly happen in my mind, that I've seen, is if this lawsuit is won and it comes out as a 10 parts per trillion. That's the only thing I can think of.
But we,
That,
I think so, okay.
that's the only thing I can think of.
Okay.
Probability of that, I don't know if
Zero.
anybody knows. Was it
Zero.
Okay, so
Okay.
do you,
If that didn't happen, then, yeah, we would eventually have to.
so you're a yes, okay. Other than that,
Other
very,
than- that's the only
other,
thing I can
very
think of,
unrealistic, but I understand. Mr. Bursch,
Yes, I
Oh,
believe
okay.
that we are going to have to treat the water.
okay, I am in agreement also that at some point, we need to treat our water. We all can agree on that, correct?
With one caveat that I mentioned,
Okay.
as little or as high as the probability might be, that's the
Okay.
only thing I can think
But
of.
we're in agreement that we need to do something to treat our water. Okay? Now, the last meeting I was at, I'm sorry, I wasn't here. No.
With the caveat is yes.
Yes, with the
Okay,
caveat. with the
Can I add to that?
Sure.
Let me narrow that down a little more. And I'm sure Fran might be able to pipe in on this, and having Lou here might help. Where are you on iron and manganese treatment?
It needs to be done for both, certainly for Hickory Hills, that's got a ton of manganese in it, yeah. And,
Okay. What if DEP tells us we have to treat for that?
well, we will have to treat it.
Okay, so then it's really the overall answer to his question, do we need to treat our water? Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you meant PFAS.
I wasn't
Manganese,
indicating.
yeah.
I was going
Okay,
for, I'm
okay.
going for, we
Okay.
are going to have to do some sort of
Okay.
treatment regardless
Well,
of where that court case goes.
Well, no, certainly if we fire up Hickory Hills, we're not treating, are we treating manganese now?
No,
Okay,
no,
so we
but I
won't
got
have to.
stuff to add to that, so.
Okay.
We'll
So,
get there.
The answer is no, we don't have to treat manganese now. If we fired up Hickory Hills, we definitely have to treat
That's why I was
manganese.
turning.
Okay. All right. With your caveat, we're in agreement with that, okay? Do we all reasonably believe that the longer we wait to do this, the more expensive it will be? And when I say more expensive, I mean the cost of the construction of the loans we can get, et cetera. Do you think that number will go down in the future or will go up? I'll ask you,
I've
Mr.
lived in this town my whole life, and I've never seen a project passed over that was less money when they finally went to do it.
Okay.
It depends a lot on what the construction is, right?
I agree with you there, but I'm asking you, and I understand your enthusiasm on the numbers of the construction costs. I truly do. What I'm asking you, Bill, is do you think that if we did this project in 2 years, or if we did it in 6 years, it's gonna be more expensive in 6 years?
I would say this project is defined as A, and next year it is also defined as A, that inflation would definitely play a role in this. All the other things that are out there, I don't know how that they're gonna play into it. I have
Okay,
no idea.
A
how
for
they
A,
play,
then you
yeah.
can agree that
Yeah.
this would simply just get more expensive in the future.
Just with inflation.
All right.
However, the other options may change that too. We don't know what it is.
Understood.
So,
Okay, get these points down, Chris, you want these in there. All right, last time we were at the meeting, we all were in agreement that it is proper for us on this article that we will be putting together on the 3rd, June 3rd, out to the vote, is that we will be putting out a request for the $41 million to the townspeople, knowing full well and hoping that the cost of that may be less than 41, hopefully will be 30.
it's actually
But-
47 we're going out for.
Yes,
Okay,
the total project.
the total project, the 47 million. We're all in agreement that that is what we would ask the townspeople to vote on. And if we are, then we're approved, design gets put into play. Once that design is done, that's when we as a board also can now look at it and be like, I think $8 a screw is ridiculous, we're not paying that. Okay, but the last I left that, so we're all in agreement with that, is that correct? I'm kinda looking at you, Bill, 'cause
I guess I don't understand what it is you said. I'm trying to follow it, but what
are
do
you
we,
in
what do
agreement
we
that
agree?
we should be asking the Lunenburg Water District users on this June 3rd
Yeah,
meeting
that-
for $47 million?
$47 million,
That's what we
right.
should be asking, that should be in the article, even though I think it might cost
Yeah,
less or it
yeah.
could, but that, so we're all in agreement there.
Yeah.
Okay? Everything we're talking about right now is valuable and everything, but it's not gonna do a bit of good if this doesn't pass. I feel like we keep circling the wagon on this. I get the information, I know what you're talking about, but boy, we're kinda beating ourselves up here. We have valuable information, let us put this together, put it to the public's vote. That's how I feel. I don't,
That's the plan, that's what we're doing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the
okay,
plan. On June 3rd, or we have to vote on that, I guess.
Yeah.
we'll have a vote.
Yeah.
That clears up any financial questions with time bond. I understand how the process works, and I understand that if this does get passed, that before we, as the board, approve any construction contract, we will be looking at it and being like, there's no way that this should cost this much or et cetera. We have that opportunity after this vote, and listen, if it all comes back and these numbers are so egregious, we at that point as a board can be like, dude, we're not doing this project, that's a ripoff. We have that right, every bit.
I will say, one thing that we typically, or we have done in certain cases, is once we get the design complete, or at least to a certain level, we'll send it out to a professional cost estimator.
Sure.
And they will go look at every screw. And they've been pretty decent. They tend to put their own hefty contingencies on there, but when you look at what they estimated it, and then when the bids come in, you're like, wow, that's what they do all the time.
Who are these cost estimators?
It's just independent firms, that's what
But
they
they're in
do.
this business, they're in your business, they're.
I mean, no, they just do cost estimate
Cost, what,
on projects.
so you give them the
Give them the
design.
design,
Yeah.
and then they go in and they pull, like they're a contractor, they'll pull a number together.
So as opposed to, or then in addition to that, you go out to the companies that will actually do the construction?
No, that.
Well, that's just a bid.
Yeah, that's, just to verify your numbers. Oh,
Yeah,
the
so,
cost- oh,
so,
okay.
yeah,
In
so
other words,
what it helps
Like-
do is like, okay, we think this project is 30 million,
Sure.
or we think it's 20 million, whatever we think it is. We send it out to them and they're like,
Oh.
this project's 40 million.
Right.
Okay, well, maybe we need to cut off half the building, maybe we shouldn't put the garage in, or whatever it is, we can cut things out, we can value engineer things out.
I understand.
It's a sanity check on your numbers.
Correct, and it's very, very common in larger scale projects to have a company basically bidding on this, they're not getting the job, but they're like, that's their job, is to go through materials, time, labor, with labor laws, et cetera, being like, I would say that this reasonably should cost X.
And I'd say we've done that on basically probably half of our jobs, so
Right.
we've got a lot of information. But when we have multiple jobs all going out to bid at the same time, it doesn't make sense for us to have them price out every single one of them. It's more information than we need. So every season we have a one or two, and then we've got a huge backlog of our own numbers and their numbers. So we have gobs and gobs of numbers for these types of
Is
projects.
that an
So
expensive project? Expensive bid?
it depends on the phase. So the higher completeness of the plans, the more it costs for them to do their estimate. So it could be anywhere from, depending on how many, if you just have them do it one time, it could be $30,000 to estimate a set of 95% drawings.
Sure.
Just throwing like ballpark numbers out there. Everything's, price dependent, depends on how big the project is and stuff like that, but just in the ballpark.
Anything further for Lou? Good. Mr. Anzalone?
No,
Anyone good?
I just wanna talk about the manganese.
Do you wanna talk about that with Lou, or?
He should hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we went through our sanitary survey just last week, 2 weeks ago, and we reviewed all the sampling we've done over the past. And I know when we did the pilot testing for Tinker Hills and we transferred over Lancaster Ave, the iron and manganese was actually very, very low at Lancaster Ave, which we see actually all the sources, they fluctuate. So currently, our manganese levels are, so the maximum you're supposed to have is 0.05 manganese. So currently, we're running at 0.28 to 0.37 down at Lancaster Ave. The maximum allowed is 0.3. And they kind of questioned me on if I've been sending out public notices to the residents, telling them that we're exceeding the manganese level. I said, no, I was never told to. But anyway, so sanitary survey is gonna have a corrective action plan that needs to be submitted to correct the manganese problem. So no matter what happens with this vote, we're doing a treatment plan for iron and manganese down the road, so. And then from what engineers tell me, it costs more to treat iron and manganese than it does PFAS. I don't know if that's true, but that's what Air told me.
I mean, yeah, all flows being equal.
Can you talk more about that? At first I heard that it costs more to do iron and manganese than PFAS.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it. You know, are you talking about the upfront capital costs or long-term O&M
The whole
costs?
bill, the whole thing.
Right, so I think, you know, in my opinion, the long-term O&M costs are gonna probably be exceeded by PFAS treatment
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of all the media replacements.
Yeah.
So the long-term O&M for that,
Yeah.
but, you know, up to upfront costs, you know, I think, you know, you can, it depends on how you're skinning it, right? We put in a 2.65 MGD iron and manganese removal system, and that was 13 million. Now we have to go and put in the PFAS treatment addition, that's 10 million. Just construction costs.
I was only saying it cost more because of air. That was a very frequent one. It only cost this for the PFAS. So when I called their engineering firm, and he's like, no, the PFAS, the iron and manganese plant was already there. So he says it would have added, yeah, I think it was $6 million for their PFAS. I think it was $10 or $11 million to do an iron and manganese above
Well,
that. So that's why it was.
It was 3.2, but that was back in that was about 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
but what I got, they already had it. They just
Yeah, but that
upgraded.
one, that's what it costs now, and $26, it probably would be more like 5 or 6. So it was substantial, no question it was substantial, but it wasn't anything, actually it was comparable, because I think their bid back then, their bid back then was 5.15, it was a spec pond one. That's a major, 40% or 50% of the water's in there. Anyway, so it was comparable for the CapEx for the two.
And some of this is like
Yeah.
apples and oranges, right? So if you build one first, the first one that you build is gonna be the more expensive one because it's got all the extra things that it'll have your clear well, it'll have, you know, other facilities. If you're just adding on like an appendage, it just, you know, it's already got all of the other infrastructure there, so, you know, that's,
Then the O&M for manganese is, comparatively speaking, very,
maybe every 20, 30 years you change your media.
that's
And it's
good.
just regular.
30 years.
If you do green sand, it's cheap. So if you do a biological, which is somehow, I'd love to somehow get the biological to work, those you don't change any medium, correct? You just,
You still might need to, like every 30 years, but it's sand. It's
Yeah.
cheaper.
okay.
Okay?
So anyway, the point being that we are looking at possible treatment.
So what would be the schedule for the manganese? How much time would we have?
I'm not sure what they're gonna actually put. They typically, when we get the sanitary survey, whatever actions they wanna see us repair, they usually will give a date. Like something critical, you have 30 days. You know, obviously they can't say you need an iron and manganese plant in 30 days, but they'll give you dates. I don't know if you're familiar with anybody that's got these.
Yeah.
Well, they say, you get 2 years, 3 years. I don't know what that is. She's hoping to get us that sanitary survey by June.
And so, next month?
Yes.
And so, what do you think, what kind of timetable would they give us to put that in? Just the Lancaster, forget about it.
Be hypothetical.
If we just did
I
that.
don't.
They'll probably, they may or may not give you dates. They may ask you to, like, when can you have it done? It's a little bit of a negotiation, I think, in terms of dates. But they'll, depending upon how you respond, If you try to push it out too far, then they'll go, okay, well, what are some interim milestone dates that we know that you're working on it, type thing.
So you think they would want to marry it to this project? Knowing
They
this
won't,
project-
they won't stipulate anything. They'll just, you know, they put the blinders on and say, you gotta take care of this problem.
So if this answer, if this is not voted on, I mean, it's voted on, but say that the vote is no, would you envision proposing that we go manganese just for Lancaster in the interim?
I'm not a fan of treating Lancaster by itself. Anyway, to me, there's enough water there to treat. I think it's a waste of money. But that's me, I don't know, whatever you guys decide.
You know, the cost per million gallons per day would be expensive. You get a more efficiency of cost, the larger.
So I think what I'm hearing is you're proposing, and Stan, or Fran, you're proposing that we hold off on that until we get to a point where here's the plan for PFAS, and then try to.
Yeah, I would use this, and I think, because when I was speaking with DEP, they know we're in this process. So I think that's gonna hold them back from really being aggressive on this thing. So I think they'll wait and see how this plays out, then we'll see what comes down the road.
Yeah, all they have to do is take a step back, and if you walk into the loan, they'll just tie all your dates to your SRF milestones, and then it's easy for them.
Okay. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Great.
Appreciate it very much.
No problem.
Thank you, Rich.
Good
Good to see you.
Yes.
Thank you.
See you next week, so. Okay, next thing we have is the review PowerPoint presentation regarding water district's funding options for the PFAS treatment plant.
I think I gave everybody a copy of the folder. It's in the
I
millions of pages that
understand,
you
yeah,
have.
I'm sorry.
Huh? Somewhere.
I know I haven't, this year, I know I do, this side, here it is, right here.
Ah,
I don't know, you just turn to the next page and see, this is basically the same one, I just changed some numbers. Oh, and I made another visual.
I like Mark's better.
No, I was gonna, this was really good. You did
But you
this,
weren't here.
this is
to-
much better, this is
Mark
exactly
had
what
like
I
a
kind of
hand-drawn
envisioned.
picture.
I
So-
didn't do the water on the bottom like you.
No,
So
no,
really,
no,
the
the
first couple
background
of
was-
pages we
background was
went
good.
through, agreed that was all good. It was the the fourth page, third page,
And that-
fourth
that was it.
page, that it just
Woody,
changed.
The first page, this is what, no, this one, I'm sorry, Chrissy. This is what you were talking about. Here, this one for today.
Correct, which we're all in agreement with.
Right.
Yep, and so what will it cost? Is that what we're on yet, or? we-
Yes, page 4, I saw that you changed those numbers at the bottom there,
Oh,
right?
I sent you another one
This
that,
one?
yeah, but
This
see, I
one?
don't have the footnote on, I actually added the footnote.
Oh, I
See, I had to
apologize.
reference the footnote, but I never put the footnote, so
Oh,
I sent you
okay.
another one that just has, I put the footnote after Lancaster there because we changed the SRF, and I said calculated with the 0.15%.
Oh,
I just
okay.
literally wrote down what that footnote was.
Okay.
You should have that.
Yeah, maybe
Okay,
I've
okay,
gotten so
alright.
many sent to me,
alright.
so I'll make sure I put the correct one on there with the footnote.
So when we talk about the average annual cost, are we at that page?
Well, yes, but no, but hold on, over duration of loan, SRF funds for Hickory Lake and Keatings at 4.5% bond, why does it say that there?
So it's the SRF funds for 41 million for
Yep,
Hickory Hills and Lancaster, and then Keating's at the bond for 4.5.
Right,
So
I-
SRF,
Can we put that information a little clearer?
yeah, we
Yeah,
can
that's-
clean that up a little bit.
absolutely.
Just so that, I mean, you
Yep.
have a lot of space there, so we could say it's
Yep.
the SRF funds for Hickory Hills, 41 million at whatever the
SRF.
percentage, and then Keating's, will be at bond at 4.5.
Yeah,
Yep.
because as I read that, I'm like, I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
we were getting a 2%er here.
So then
6
the
million.
total over 30 years, we're looking
Yep.
at the 68 million. Now, I wanna discuss the average annual cost to the water taker. Is this, if we take that 68 million, divided amongst the water takers we have, this is how much it costs per
divided by 30 and.
That's
So
a big
that's,
sheet.
yeah, that's,
Yeah.
if you go to those big sheets, that's kind of what, like, Fran and I were
I mean-
working on with the breakdown with Waterworth, that program that we have,
Yeah,
putting in some of these numbers. And it's pretty close, cause basically, what did we figure was gonna be roughly $70?
$70 for the SRF and the 6 million bond, and
Yep.
then 90 for the just bond.
So if you
Per
take that
month.
800,
Per month.
835, that comes out to roughly the 70
Yes,
a month.
yes, so if we did the 70 per month and times 12, that comes
I
pretty
mean,
close
we
to
agree.
pretty close to your number.
I'm just wondering, are we planning to use this as, this is gonna come directly from the takers, are we doing anything with rates to offset this?
Yes, but I think that's when Fran and I met with Waterworth, and it's
Yes.
very, there's,
So-
sorry,
Okay, well, alright, so he says that there's two ways to do it. One, we could just for cost to figure out per person, he just said, let's just throw a number at every person to pay this bill. And then he said, he says, we can work on the whole consumption process and see with the whole base rate, water user rate, and he says we can do all that and run all different scenarios with this
Sure.
Waterworth program.
so I think the tough part is that right now, if we tried to run it that way, like, well, what would the minimum be, and what would it be
Yeah.
if you irrigated it? You're gonna start confusing people. And we're not saying that this is, that your bill's gonna go up exactly $70. This just gives the residents a rough idea of, to put a number to it. Like we talked about, and I think you guys all agree that we're still gonna keep our tiers, our minimum, our tier
Correct.
1, our tier 2. That's when we can use this Waterworth program to go, all right,
Right,
this is where we'll
so-
figure it out, but
But I'm a homeowner and I'm saying, is this what it's gonna cost me every
No.
year to do PFAS?
You don't
What?
know.
So, what I think is
But,
of value
yeah,
is I like this number because it's showing this is an average.
Yep.
However, we should make it very clear that this number will be more actual in our tiered system now. In other words, if you're, a very efficient person at home, and you're meeting the minimum in your water bill, it's gonna be less than that.
yeah.
If you're a tier 3
Yeah.
customer and it's going along, we will spread this cost out amongst the tiers, just like our current water is billed. We put this number in here,
Yep,
so as
So
a
maybe-
general, this is out to the public, it's not your exact figure, okay?
I'm just looking at the
So
one
maybe we
person that
add-
is very
but why don't we-
efficient, that looks at this and goes,
70, yeah.
Yeah,
this is a lot.
this is a lot.
So what if we,
It is a lot, but
do like another little footnote down the
That's what I was
bottom
thinking,
with
is
something?
there a simple phrase that could capture this weighting factor, or whatever you, depends on what tier you're in, or
Right.
something simple?
Yeah, that's what I'm
something to that,
thinking,
yes.
possibly.
So we put another footnote here?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And what simple phrase can you?
Final figure will be based on
Adjusted by
water
tiers.
water tier adjustment.
Yeah.
This is simply.
How about individual Costs.
Individual water tier
tier?
rates.
Yeah, we'll kind of play.
Yeah.
We got another meeting with this guy on Monday, so maybe
Yeah,
we can
we'll-
hone this down.
Maybe,
We might be able to.
you might be able to be like, hey, you know what, for all of you that are just using the minimum, your number's gonna be this.
Yeah.
If you're in a tier 2, tier 3, just put the.
He kinda did.
Put the
He started doing
lowest
that.
number for each one. In other words, if you're tier 1 and you meet the minimum every month, your number's gonna be this.
That would be
it's
valuable. That'd be
very
really
hard to
valuable.
say, like, you have that person that's like $835 annually, oh my God.
Yeah,
Where they might actually be a lot less, and then you have the tier people that are gonna be over that $800. But those are your higher users and they're using it
Irrigation.
for specific,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'll tell you this, if we can get those figures,
yep,
okay,
okay.
maybe in this blurb here, instead of
Yeah.
saying, $835
Yeah.
a year, we'll break it down to tier 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Put the numbers right there in that presentation, so. And then we
Oh.
can explain it further, but I think that would give.
I think we can, because he showed us a hypothetical, remember, he pulled that into his Excel, and he had those three, and and we were trying to figure out, what we do, 1,500, 2,000, so I think we can
Yep.
do that, because I think,
Does
I
everyone
think
know
it'll-
what tier they're in when they get a bill?
I don't think they probably know what tier, but what I was,
We could
like at the
explain
top, it would
tiers.
say, if you would typically use 600 cubic feet, if you typically use 3,000 cubic feet, if you typically used 5,000, so they might not know the tier, but they might know their usage,
And-
like most,
Yeah, it's a big number, and it's kinda scary if we can tier it out.
yeah,
Right, I just,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
okay.
okay.
Good.
Yeah, so the key one is that the minimum charge, which is 75 currently,
Right.
that's the elderly.
I feel like
Yes.
you have
And
many,
that's the one we gotta keep.
you have many customers that are minimal charge.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just would be of value to say.
yeah.
Alright,
Alright, we'll work on that with,
okay.
Waterworth.
I don't have anything on the next page, I think that the time frame pretty much is
So we just-
straightforward.
we just went over that, right?
Okay.
I'm missing one,
What are you missing?
the yes.
The
Oh,
what?
oh, no, sorry, sorry.
Yep, the
That
yes,
was
you
a
said.
yes.
Yes. So no cost increase,
We were trying to go over this, Bill, what did you mean by repeat identical process as this year?
Just
As-
do
Do it
what we
again.
did again, but
But
Again,
I don't think that's,
also we
issues.
talked about getting the costs up front, doing the design work up front.
okay.
Sorry.
First off, I don't even think that's an option. Repeat identical process this year. I don't think that's, do you think we could put this all together?
So this is
We ju-
second-
We
this
literally
is-
just talked about saying that this is more than likely.
Well,
not
how
gonna
many
happen.
times do we wanna go with something?
Yeah.
I guess is what we're.
Like, I just wanna nix that whole thing.
Well, wait, time out. These are options for the people, right? One says repeat the identical process as this year. We could put another, it probably will not be this July, as we were just talking about, we could repeat it next year. But that is a possibility. So this is a possibility. No one's promoting it, no one's saying we don't do it, it's just saying this is a possibility, it's one of the options that might happen.
So maybe putting after that at a later date.
Correct.
Yeah,
So repeat
yeah,
identical
yeah,
processes
yeah.
this year at a
In
later
fact,
date.
that would
The
be
way-
more specific, it sounds to me like next year. Be
In
27.
2027.
27,
So you
yeah.
could probably put that.
Yeah.
Repeat
Yeah.
identical
In
In
process
2027.
in 2027.
Yes, I like in
Okay.
2027, because people
Alright.
should realize that we won't be able to do it
Okay.
this year.
Chrissy, are you gonna be making these edits, you want me to do it again and send it to you?
Whatever you like, I can, cause we'll be in it
You'll be do that-
we'll
you'll
be
be
in it
doing
as
that
well,
tier
cause we're
thing.
gonna be doing the tier thing, so I can go in and change some of these, I've been
Right.
trying to keep track.
So do you know the possible closure of PFAS? We saw an email yesterday, it says that PFAS from American Waterworks, the 4 parts per trillion is staying for the PFOS and PFOA from American Waterworks.
Well, Where,
The
you
other
have
ones
it?
changed, they haven't
You have
had-
it? I'd like to see it because
We gotta
that,
find
that
it.
case hasn't closed.
But can you show me where you keep seeing that, like, cause everything we're
Yeah, you know
reading
what, Chrissy,
says
as
that,
I was leaving
PFOA
my
and
kitchen,
PFOS.
as I was leaving my kitchen, I anticipated the question. So this is right out of the lawsuit. Number 5, I
says-
sent it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's changed
Whether
since.
whether EPA violated the Safe Drinking Water Act or acted arbitrarily and capriciously, it's a lawsuit, or in a manner otherwise not in accordance with law by issuing maximum contaminant levels of 4 parts per trillion for the PFOA and PFOS, when those levels are neither feasible, especially when taking public water systems costs of compliance into consideration, and blah, 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 nor reflective of the best available science or nationally representative of current state. Now,
But then if
that's
you-
what it said.
Yeah,
I'm
but then
reading
if you
English.
read May 4th, 2026 from American Waterworks, the 2 things that they are pushing is 1, to extend the timeline by 2 years for PFOA and PFOS. So that's all they're looking to do, is extend the timeline, nothing to do with the MCL. 2, rescind the regulations of the hazard index. So on May 4th, they have a new thing in there that talks about the 2 things that they're doing right now is extending the timeline by 2 years, which is what DEP has been saying and EPA has been saying. And the other part to their suit is just to rescind because they didn't take the correct steps to go and get public comment as far as the hazard index. So they're not asking, in the EPA, they're not asking them to change PFOA and PFOS. At nowhere have they said, we want, American Waterworks is asking EPA to change their number to 10 parts per trillion. At nowhere in
When
there.
they say putting contaminant levels at 4 parts per trillion is capricious and
Yes.
arbitrary, that tells me
Well,
that
well,
Chelsea.
But they're
didn't
not
know.
What was the date
saying,
of that one, Bill?
change it to.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's
just
24.
took- I was
So
just-
May-
Years newer.
May 4th of 2026, it says, the two main drinking regulations that they are fighting is to extend the PFOA and PFOS timeline. And if you look through their website, they say, we have no intention of changing PFOA or PFOS. Two, they want to rescind the hazard index because they didn't go through the
I
exact
understand that
step.
part, I understand
Okay.
this, but this
So
May
if you-
4th is, that's like new to me.
2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what was the, and it referenced something else in that?
Extend the time by 2 years and rescind the hazard index
Yeah.
mixtures.
Could I have that or give me
Yeah.
the reference? Because I'd like to look at
And
that.
then we gotta find the email, we saw it, I'm like, well, we gotta pass on you guys, where it said the full parts for trees is, it's set, it's not changing.
Well, I think the hardest
Stan-
part though is
so,
that,
I don't want to play attorney, but
Mhm.
it says, excuse me, extend the PFOA and PFOS maximum contaminant levels. But it doesn't say what number, you know that's for?
But-
You know it's for?
because in all of the stuff that we see, everybody supports the 4. They just are saying that the way that they went through their steps,
The other stuff.
the other steps, was not done correctly. So they are not asking, yes, they think it needs to change. So to
Okay,
all
I
right,
will
going
look
back
at
and forth, but to
this.
summarize that,
Okay.
this is what refers to
What-
this
all right.
page. This refers to this page,
Yeah.
is that there is, unless you or someone can come and say, here, AWWA is saying they're gonna tell us, EPA, to change it to 4 to 10, I don't think we need to have litigation outcome on there, because like we've said in the past, I'm not a lawyer, you're not a lawyer, nor is the citizens group to sit there and say that this is what's gonna happen. So for us, like
Which
Mark
bullet-
Bursch and I had commented on at the last meeting, that a lot of these things are misleading to tell people
Yes.
that there is a litigation out there that, let's
Which-
sit and wait, possible closure on the PFAS MCL, do nothing, and litigation outcome.
Where are we?
The no vote,
Yeah, but which?
Do nothing.
You're at the do
Under
nothing
the
vote.
do nothing, and what you're saying is
Litigation
possible
litigation
closure
after.
on PFAS, which is already, they've already said it at the 4. And then litigation outcome. There, as far as,
It's done.
So,
yes, it's an open case. Yes, they might come back and say, okay, change the hazard index, but that does not affect Lunenburg with P4 or PFAS. So
Okay, I mean, do you mind if we have time, could I look at that one before I change anything?
it's up to you guys as the board, you guys
Yeah,
decide
yeah.
what you want. You guys decide as the board what you
we
want.
need to get this out there.
Yes.
All right, so listen, we've already discussed that amongst the board members, other than, Bill's home run shot, that we need a treatment plan, okay? Correct? So what happens if there's no vote? The first thing, if the options, repeat identical process this year,
In
or in the-
2027.
all right. And it says delays to resident cost increase. I don't really like that verbiage. What it really should say is, it increases
Delays and
resident.
increases.
Delays and increases.
That's what I mean, no, yes, but increases cost.
It's a, you could say delays but increases resident costs. That has to be in there. We know it's gonna cost more. So it shouldn't say delays resident cost increase, because that sounds like it's positive.
Well,
It's delay.
I'm putting,
it delays
I'm trying to
and
capture,
increases.
I'm trying to capture
that
positive
what-
and negative things.
Did I,
Positive and
just,
negative.
what I just said, is that the truth?
Yes, it's negative.
But no, but is it the truth?
Yeah, I mean, you can say a lot of true things. We're putting together a slide here
Alright,
that
so my
captures.
job here is to put the right information out to public.
Yeah.
Okay, so not only does it delay the cost, it increases.
You wanna put another bullet on here? You could put another bullet.
Delays.
Likely.
Delays
And
increases.
Can
You
I
can do it
can I make a
No,
quick
look,
suggestion on,
the- the-
can I step back 1 second? Repeat identical process in the future.
2027.
Well, let's not put a date to it,
yeah, in the future,
okay?
No,
then you're not held to an
Because
exact date.
some
Sure.
people like live and die by dates, all right? I agree with delays resident cost increase. I don't understand what that says,
Well, let me explain it then.
but
if
if
we-
I don't
we
understand what it
voted-
says
that-
and
I
we've
think
had
that's the
these,
point, right.
we've had
Okay.
these, then what's the general public gonna look at this like?
Right.
So we wanna be
I don't
very
really like the
clear.
delays residential cost increase. I think it should just be adds to residential cost increase.
Well, we could just keep something simple, as far as,
Okay.
it's going to, I mean, I don't know, I guess it's gonna increase if we,
It will. Now, so if this had been passed in 2024, that would be that they would begin paying, well, it would be shifted because there was about a year delay before they
Sure.
actually hit it. So they would already have paid 1, 2, now 3 years of cost.
I see
That's
what he,
now in their
I
pockets.
understand what you're
Okay?
saying.
And that's
We're
darn
pushing,
important.
we're pushing, yeah, but the way, I understand how you're looking at that. I look at this does not delay cost increase, because what we're doing from the 0% to the 2%,
Postpones.
we're actually, yeah, we're pushing the cost increase down the road, which is
Well,
okay,
yes.
which is okay. Your bill's not gonna go up, but it's, the overall cost of the project's
we're-
gonna go up, which is we're pushing it down the road to the,
If anybody's-
That's captured here as
So-
well. That's captured here as well.
Where?
So could we close on the one thing, we're kind of jumping around?
Sure.
What I meant by that delays residence cost increase, now, there will be a cost increase.
Correct.
but it delays.
Okay, it delays their payment by another year or maybe even 2 years.
Understood.
So,
Delays
so if you
residents.
stop and think about this whole thing from when it started,
Payment.
Okay.
payments,
Bill,
The-
I
okay,
understand that it
okay,
delays it, I
alright.
truly do. And to the average person, be like, delayed payment, great,
okay, let's pick new words.
Well, but I don't think what isn't in that statement is that it's going to cost more the more we delay it.
So maybe that needs to be to the right where it says inflation with a question
No,
mark.
Inflation.
Well, we could capture under.
Well, that is inflation.
And lower SRF availability, or we could put something in there explicitly, likely increases
Not
costs.
likely, it's going to cost more.
Again, it depends if it's A and A. It depends, you can't see the future of what the
We don't
system's gonna
know
look like.
what
We just
it
have
would
no
be, but I
idea.
mean, I think we all
Yeah.
feel it probably
Yeah.
will be higher.
I agree,
but we
it's
can't-
likely to, but I won't say it does.
Apples to apples, this project will cost more in the future,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
correct?
Absolutely, with inflation for sure.
Okay,
So I think that's what you were
So
trying to.
That's
get
what I'm
across.
trying to say.
Well,
Yeah,
then,
so
And
with
you just-
inflation, you will.
will cost more.
Inflation.
It will cost
So, I
more.
mean,
So-
just like that.
So-
inflation cost
We're,
increase.
we're basically, the delays, resident cost increases, pushing this down the road.
All
But
right.
because of inflation, it's going to cost more when we push it down the road.
I think it should be higher cost installed at a later date, or something to that. It has to somewhere in there
It's
say,
just
higher
higher
cost.
cost due to inflation, delay.
Yeah, higher cost.
And we've got lower SRF availability with the question marks, that
Yep.
captures an increased cost too.
Yeah, what
See,
never
but
means
I
that,
don't even like that. Alright, so hold on, we're gonna, alright, so, alright, instead of inflation, can we put higher cost?
Do we need to maybe have a definition next to each one of these that kind of
Alright,
explains
but
it a little
no, alright,
further?
but yeah, I mean,
I'm just
so,
wondering.
look, if we're arguing about it, the
Yeah.
person that reads this is gonna be like, first off, alright, hold on, I just wanna, can we clarify the higher cost?
Yes.
That bullet point there. I would like to say higher cost a project due to delay or like.
Or inflation?
you could say
Higher
delay.
cost due to inflation.
Kind of covered, due to delay, 'cause everybody might get the idea that the delay could be the inflation.
So
Cost
what-
could be higher in the future.
The idea of this
Well-
too is that people are gonna read these, but we should be presenting these
Yeah.
so that we can be clear on the
Alright.
definitions.
Okay.
They don't need to be written here, but if we're gonna present any of these so
Yeah.
that we're clear, we should probably have a
Higher
set of
cost.
side notes with definitions.
There are words
I
that
get
go,
it.
there are
Inflation.
words that go with
That's what I
everything.
thought.
Alright,
There
thank
are
you.
words, as long as you capture the
I already had
bullet
that
items,
Thank
you're
you.
off
Alright,
top.
look,
I
we're gonna, so, just so you guys know, we spent 45 minutes on one item on this.
Yeah.
And we are going to be efficient, okay?
I'm not
Well,
doing all the
doesn't
copy,
all
I'm
have
being
to-
very careful not to say
If
too
you
much.
want changes and everything, I can go through, make the changes, and we can add it, send it to each other,
Sure.
tweak, make comments, do all of that as well, so.
Yeah, I think every one of these comments needs an explanation.
Possible closure on PFAS
It's a
MCL.
slide.
Yep.
It's a slide.
I don't think anybody knows what that is.
Well, we're
What?
already, it's already
Powerful.
set at 4.
Possible closure on PFAS MCL. I'm just saying that I don't think people know what that is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that,
I get it.
you know, like,
So
what happens if a no
What
vote?
would be your definition of
Right,
that?
what would you,
How about finalize PFAS MCL?
But didn't EPA already
But
said
if
it?
No,
whoever
that's-
explains it, MCL maximum contaminant level,
Yeah.
so
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, they don't know that.
I think that should just go.
I just think it should be gone too.
Well,
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because as I discussed earlier,
We decided a need for treatment.
right, we know we need treatment.
okay, the current PFAS MCL in Massachusetts is what?
20.
20. This is saying, all likely it will not be 20, but it'll be another number. It will, next year, or after, it will be closed, probably,
Okay.
okay? That's what that says. It's
Right,
not
but I don't
closed
think,
now. You don't know what it is
I
next
get what
year.
you're
I'm
saying.
not-
You don't know what
I
it
get
is.
what you're
disagreeing
saying,
with you,
but
but-
when somebody reads this, they're not gonna have a clue what that means.
But I guess what I'm saying is like, I don't think that's, personally, this is I'm 1/3 here, I don't think that that's a value add on what happens if with a no vote. The fact of the matter is
Well-
that we know that the DEP set the
Well,
limits.
let me give you a possibility. They're gonna, suppose Mass DEP says it's 4 next year. They say it's 4,
Yeah.
end of this year, it's
Sure.
4. Guess what becomes eligible for SRF? Keating becomes eligible for SRF, so does Hanover,
Okay,
Lancaster.
all right.
But-
Okay?
But you just heard him say, and this is where we jumped from last year, that SRF pot went from this to
That's a
this,
separate question,
to this.
Woody. We're talking about that bullet item which says possible closure on PFAS, MCL. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
And now I'm explaining to you what impact that could be, or how townspeople could be looking at it when it's explained what we're talking about. Whether or not the pot gets smaller, that's a separate
Well, you just,
issue.
but you're indicating that you're the one that brought up the SRF. Now Keating's gonna be eligible for it. That's why I countered with that, because you brought that up.
But it's not about the cost of it. It's not about the cost. It says that he may be eligible. That's one of the reasons that the closure is important. I mean, it's just true. I don't know what it's just true. I mean, whether the probability of getting it, if they're only at 6 or 7, or 5 is up like to 20 or something like that at
Yeah,
Lancaster.
ISO's 20.
All right,
I mean,
so
it's
I
so-
guess what I don't like is that statement indicates,
A possibility, not a fact.
right, and it also indicates that we probably shouldn't even be doing this right now, we should be waiting.
Doing what?
This whole treatment plan.
Well, I totally agree, that was, the whole SRF last year, when you guys were talking about holding off on it, I totally agreed with you. And I still agree it should have been held off on, but we are where we are, okay? So I totally agree we're not ready for that, if that's what you're saying, 100% agreement, but we are here. So if we are here, we have to address it.
I don't know how much,
I don't think you knew at the last meeting, he had stated that he's not in support of
He,
this.
I wanted to wait another
He
year.
does not
I-
support
I-
it, so that's,
I watched the last meeting,
Okay.
it was probably better, it wasn't the last meeting.
So just on the, I applied, this was the last year of the infrastructure money. So to me, if there's any kind of incentives coming, this is the last year you're gonna get.
So Bill, you think that we should just wait on this whole procedure and see where the chips fall in the future? You think that'll save us money?
I think,
Do you think it'll save us money?
I think the town, the people are gonna have to decide. That's what this is about. Let them decide.
We know, I'm personally asking you.
I think it's premature. I think it's premature.
And so you think that we've already agreed we need a treatment plan, and we've already agreed that this cost is only going up. And yet you still
We
think that we
agreed that
shouldn't do it.
inflation would increase the costs. We didn't agree that we need this treatment plan. We didn't agree to that. By the way, that's what you agreed to too, that we weren't ready for it. You said the same thing. We weren't ready for this SRF deal. Wait till this year. Now we're here. Now we're here.
are
But
you
I
talking
still
back
think,
from a year ago when this was brought
when
up?
this was
Because
discussed last year.
I think
He-
those things would have worked themselves out. I'm concerned that we keep kicking this thing down the road. I think when you talk about a lawsuit, when they already have determined that these chemicals are harmful to people, I think that that's ridiculous. I think that the longer we wait, the more this is going to
And
cost
I
future
understand
generations.
that. I understand.
You
it.
you understand that?
I understand it. Yeah, I understand,
That what-
believe me, I understand the argument. And
Right.
I totally respect the argument.
All right,
okay?
listen,
I
that's kind of my
understand.
fault. I pulled us off course here a little bit. We will discuss this maybe further at a different section, but let's get through this.
Okay.
Please.
That's
Can
my
we,
fault.
can we make some compromises? Can we just take that line out? The
The
possible closures on PFAS, MCL, those can be conversations, I mean, those are things that people can talk about. And yes, we already know that's gonna, you know, we're gonna get the guarantee on it. I mean, the EPA is already at 4 parts per trillion.
No.
You think they're gonna waver on that?
No, Mass right now is at 20, right? So if they go down to 4, I'm gonna repeat the same, and I don't wanna keep
They
repeating
have
it
to
because
go
it takes time.
They, right.
It'll go down to 4, and you're gonna be eligible at 2, if they stay with the same rules, right? And both of those facilities are now eligible, that they weren't eligible now. So that's a very strong point, very strong point.
To tell people to vote no.
No, it says, it says, here's one of the options, here's one of the considerations, you vote no. And yes, it would be I mean, it's a roll of the dice.
Yes.
At lower SRF availability, yes, no, maybe, question, that says no.
I think
If
we're
there are other
talking,
negatives here, we can, if you want more negatives, I don't know, put them in.
I think we're talking about too many hypotheticals. I do, anyway. You're putting, you got too many,
To me, if you want to give the information to the people who are going to be voting on $47 million,
Yeah.
you want to put in everything you could. If you want to throw in probabilities or suggestions, or that's when you give the presentation, you can do that.
That's what you're doing
Okay.
right here. You're giving probabilities and suggestions. By saying.
And so you want to get rid of lower SRF availability?
No, because I think that's almost a fact it's gonna be lower.
Well, I think this is a fact too. Absolutely, it's a fact. More so than that. I think it's more of a fact that Massachusetts is going to change.
So why don't you just change that and say EPA is set at 4. EPA is set at 4, closure for Massachusetts
to 4,
to 4.
not possible. Just
Yeah, not
Massachusetts
possible.
has to be 4 or less.
Yeah.
Closure
so
on PFAS
closure
MCL
on
to 4.
To 4 parts per trillion.
Yes.
Is that
Okay.
agreeable?
Yes,
So
but-
So it's
but-
not possible, it's just closure on PFAS,
I mean,
MCL
I can't
to
talk
4
for the
parts.
state of Massachusetts, but
Well, they have to, what federal EPA sets. Massachusetts has
no,
to set
EPA
it.
is saying that now, they haven't changed it.
EPA is set at 4.
Yeah.
Massachusetts has to go to their level or lower.
Massachusetts at 20 now, EPA is saying 4.
Yes.
So Massachusetts is not at where EPA is.
No, but they
But
have to
we're
accept
saying
it.
that closure will
Will be-
happen
Will happen.
to 4 parts per trillion.
Then that's where I can't, I mean, I assume so. I mean, I don't know when
That's
when
the
they're
law,
gonna.
right? Like if EPA has an MCL, the states
Massachusetts
have to
has
set it
Has
to at least
accept
that.
That
But
or
they haven't
lower.
done it. It's at 4 now with the EPA. And if Massachusetts has to accept it, they haven't done it yet.
And that's what the closure is saying. Closure on PFAS, MCL. That's what you were just
Yeah.
saying, that would, yes.
It's-
So that's what we were just saying, we'll put closure on the PFAS MCL to 4 parts per trillion.
That could be, the only issue with respect to, by the way, how is this being presented? Who's presenting this?
I think it's either on any one of us, you know, you kinda said we don't need, an outside source to help us present this.
No, to do the charts. Yeah, no one else knows what's going on. Yeah, so my issue with that is, I don't think the people in the audience will understand, okay, so what? Really,
So
so
then why
what?
are we even having that in there?
Because in the present, you put bullet items and slides, and then
I
you
get
talk
it.
to them,
I
okay?
get it.
And say, well, what, so what? So the so what is what I just described. And if I were, I'm not suggesting that I'm gonna present anything, but if I were presenting it, I would present what the impact that is, because they don't understand it.
Sure.
So just putting that bullet item down is fine, as long as the presentation indicates what's the impact of that. Because just saying down to 4 is kind of negative, it's, wow, it's good, but that's where we're probably.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now,
But that's the reality.
Traditionally, if I'm going through this last time, it has been argued by members of the Lunenburg Independent Water, what their names are.
Unaffordable group.
Okay, that they keep saying it's 20, they keep saying it's 20. I believe that that is fairly misleading to the public, okay? I understand that Massachusetts is at 20 right now, but the EPA has gone down to 4. We are going to follow to 4, okay? I mean, so, but that's, I guess, why, because that was one of the things that was brought up last time, which was very, very kind of unreliable information to push to the public. I wanna make sure that that's not, that's addressed to the public.
Well, that bullet takes care of it.
If you say to 4 parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I'm
Okay,
saying
all right,
is
so
that
we'll add
as a
that.
standalone, without
Okay.
a description of it, doesn't mean anything to the people.
All right, down to 4, moving on. All right, so lower SRF availability, I just didn't like the question mark at the end of that.
Yeah, I crossed
Okay,
that,
all right.
yeah.
And expand SRF eligibility.
You can,
I think they're both true.
We-
'cause
we can
if
leave
the metal
them there.
drops,
I just-
it's gonna.
I just didn't like the question mark, because it made it like,
no question marks.
Amazing.
So.
Because those aren't questions, those are facts.
Right.
There is going to be less SRF funds available,
right,
but hey, we're gonna qualify for more.
That's
Yes, yeah,
So, I mean, they're true statements.
so, okay.
but then that needs
Lower,
to.
lower SRF,
Doesn't mean you're gonna get it,
Uh.
we're gonna qualify for more, as well as a number of other communities in the state. So people should understand that now, instead of 20 people applying for SRF funds, the pool's this big, there's gonna be 40 or 50 people applying for SRF funds. So
okay.
the amount we may get would be lower, and the availability is going to be less, because more
Okay.
people are trying to get it.
Could we say SRF eligibility expanded instead of expand SRF? Does anybody have a problem with that?
Nope,
Okay.
it's the same thing.
Same thing.
I just think one says lower, one says expand, I had people make.
Well,
I
we
think-
argued
I
this
think-
point, we had improving, and remember we had this
Yeah.
discussion
Sure.
last.
All
No,
right.
that's good, everybody's
Yep.
going that.
That's why I
Great.
thought
All right.
explained.
Revised process and reconsider. So what else? Okay. So if we say no,
Well, go back to revised process and reconsider.
yeah, that's where we're at.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry. So we spoke to Lou about what you had talked a lot about last time, Bill, about wanting to suggest to people to vote no. And I think this is what you were saying, that we're not doing it at this time. Vote no, let's pay time bond to finish the design out of our PFAS litigation money, and let's go out to bid, but we're not gonna accept the bids. So that was my understanding, that like, so if we vote no, you wanted to use the PFAS
But-
litigation funds to still do the design?
Well, eventually, whenever you get there, that would be the process.
Yeah.
We wouldn't do the same process we're doing now. That's my recommendation. We would go out and do what Lou was talking about here. We'd do the design for construction.
Yep,
And then go out for bids, so we know what we have. Yeah, and
but from
then,
what we were getting from him is contractors aren't going to bid on a project knowing that we don't have the funds and
Well-
that they're not gonna get the project.
So typically, when we do like the water main project, the engineers come out with their estimated number. Then we go to the voters and we appropriate that number, make it available for us to borrow, steal, whatever way to get that money. Then the project's complete, then we do the bond.
Yep.
And well, actually, we get the money, then we go out to bid, sign the contracts, and then finalize them.
yeah, no, I understand that process. But when, last week, was it the week before, when Lou and Tom were here, when I described that process, that he said that's what they typically do. So I thought that was what they typically did anyway.
So maybe I
I've gone out for bids for
misunderstood.
project, not me personally, but others I work with, go out for bids without, they never ask for, where's your money ahead of
Well,
time.
but-
And this might be different.
I'll tell you where,
But you
and they
had
don't-
mentioned, Fran, at the end of the contract, like, you have to sign the contract within
30 days or
30
something
days.
like
So
that.
Right.
how do we sign a contract if we
We don't have funding.
the money?
Wait, so are you saying they will not give you a bid unless they see that you've got the money ahead
No,
of
no, no,
time?
no, but
I-
how do we ask half a dozen contractors to submit a bid
For 35.
for $35 million, and they spend a month worth of
No
time, and they give us
contractor
all
in
the
the world,
bid?
because I'm
And then we're
one,
like, oh,
is going to
just,
give you a
just
bid
kidding, we can't
that
award
they
you the
know
bid.
they're not getting, just for your fun. that's where Lou's talking about paying this other independent contractor, that's what they'll do.
No,
But I'm
maybe-
not gonna sit there and write you a bid on something like this
Well,
for
maybe
fun.
that's-
If you do,
that's-
you gotta
maybe that's-
double it, just cover your ass.
Oh my goodness, like, it's not, that's not how
Maybe that's
business
before we
works.
go with the guy who blesses his bid.
I'm gonna go back to the beginning of this. I am not in favor of spending $1 million of the district's money without knowing what we're gonna do after.
Right. I am 100% in agreement with you.
Do you see where I'm coming with
Well,
this?
that-
We're gonna spend $1 million of the district's money to design something, and then we're gonna go out, and then what are we gonna do after that? What if nothing happens?
Well-
I would love to, I wanna know that we're gonna go out to bid for something that we have funding for.
Right.
Not spend the money, hypothetically, we go out to
You-
bid for this, what happens if we don't do anything?
You do the design work, the design for construction, after you know what your plan is. So we all said, in all likelihood, we're gonna need a plant, we're gonna need a water treatment plant, PFAS.
We,
We're gonna drop it down to 4, whatever, so that's probably very likely gonna happen. Well, then we know this is what we wanna do, then the design work goes in. And you don't use new money, that's not new money, or that's money that we have now that we're pulling forward maybe, but it's not new money. It's gonna go into it, but you don't spend it until you know what your plan is. You don't spend it.
but we
Yeah.
have a plan.
And this is
But
also.
we're talking,
So this one I don't
here's where we are now, okay?
Mhm.
Here's where we are now, and that's what we're talking about.
But I think it was to take the litigation money and pay time on to design the actual treatment plant.
After we know that we're gonna, what it
So-
is.
I am not in favor of spending the money unless we know we have a project we're gonna do.
Right.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, yes.
Okay.
That's
so
the right direction, that's the right way to do it.
Right,
Yeah.
and we don't have the money appropriated for the project, so I'm not gonna spend money on a plan until we have the money appropriated for the project. Why would I spend $1 million on a plan? Great, I got $1 million plan,
Because you have to,
So we're
put the
supposed
plan,
to,
you
we're
have
supposed
to do
to
it.
do that, go spend $1 million, get a plan, and then go and ask the people to vote on that plan.
and then they say
Yeah.
no.
That's how you wanna do this.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, Bill, but I am 1000% not on board with that.
So you don't do a plan, you don't do the design work unless you know that you've gotta build a plan, okay?
But we
We've
just
already
agreed-
done
but-
this with Ty and Bond. This has already been done. This is where, I'm sorry, and I know my frustration is showing because my poker hand is horrible here. Everything you're talking about, we've done and done again and again. This is what this company does. They put all this forward. I feel that we take this information and we push it to the public. Let them decide, do they wanna do it? And us by giving, if it's a yes, this happens, and a no, this happens. If they don't wanna do it, if they say, we wanna spend more money later, we don't want this right now, we'll kick the can down the road and pay for the costs later, that's their right to do.
I guess the revised process and reconsider, I understand that. Everything underneath it is hypothetical.
What do you mean,
So, what really needs to
It could be an option that if it's a no vote, that we have to revise our process and reconsider. Everything underneath it hasn't been decided yet.
Yeah, you're giving them the idea that this is what we could do if you vote no. You're giving them more options to say no.
Right.
I think that whole section needs to come out.
I do too.
It's either we repeat the process.
I
or
agree
we do
that
nothing.
well, maybe we have to revise the process, reconsider, but we don't even know what that
Yeah, we have no idea what that is.
that looks like, because we can't agree on what that looks like. So we can't really say that's what we could be doing in the future. We could definitely look at it, relook at it. If there's a no vote, we're gonna have to relook at, okay, how are we gonna move forward knowing we have to do treatment?
Yeah.
I mean,
These
it
are all
almost-
hypotheticals. These aren't anything in my
This-
mind.
Almost needs to be a
You know,
bullet point
we
right here.
can't agree on
You
anything
know what? You're
underneath
right.
You
that
know,
line.
it's either we repeat this process and do it next year, take this out,
Take this
but
whole
do
thing out. Do
nothing,
nothing,
make a
just
bullet point,
revise.
revise, process, and reconsider.
Right. But I'm gonna tell you, on this do nothing down here, what isn't in here is the final end game of we have to shut the water off. That's not in here, and it needs to be. Because if we do nothing, we cannot continue to run the wells. At some point,
They're gonna tell us.
they're
we
gonna
have
tell us
shut
to shut the water off.
Well, you
Well-
know what?
That needs to be
Then
on do nothing.
They put it on there. We put it on there. So, but these are three options, which we all agreed to, right?
Right, and I didn't agree to
So-
everything below the revised process and reconsider. That, to me, that's its own bullet point, and I don't agree with.
Let's start at the highest level. Do we agree that these are the three options if they vote no? That
I-
just do it again next year?
I agree with
Revise
you.
the process and do it, or just do nothing? That covers all the options. I don't think there are any more options, right?
Well, what I was just saying to him is I don't think that the second one really is like an option. I think that needs to be put under do nothing. If you do nothing right now,
Oh, so do nothing, but underneath revise the process.
it is a
Yeah.
bullet point.
Well, under do nothing.
Under,
Yeah, just take the,
Just
revise it, put it right here.
Make it a bullet point.
Under do
do
nothing,
nothing.
Yeah.
okay?
and
Revise
get rid
and-
of, okay.
Yeah,
All right,
get
keep
rid of that.
moving. The only other thing we had talked about last time was that under do nothing, the litigation outcome. I think that needs to be removed because that's kind of what we talked about, that there's too many misconceptions. I know everybody has
you
their.
think-
Litigation meaning with the American Water Works, or litigation from us suing the.
Right. I guess,
Oh,
yeah.
I assumed we had talked about America. Is that what you meant?
No,
American
I
Water
thought-
Works?
Yeah,
You were talking about
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's just, we all agree that we need to treat the water, so putting that in there is just, that's not gonna
Do you
change us.
think that litigation is going to make PFAS less harmful to the public?
Do I think litigation is less harmful? No.
So, PFAS is harmful to the public.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of litigation because all of the studies and everything that come out say that we have this in our wells and then we have this in our water and it's harmful to the public. I really don't care if a lawyer tells me, they didn't cross this T or dot that I. It still makes PFAS an unhealthy product to the public.
Mark, there are so many contaminants in that. How many contaminants do we have in our wells that have MCLs? How many? And they're all dangerous to our health.
I get it.
Every one of them. In fact, even
Yeah, they
documented
wouldn't be
voice.
there if they weren't.
I mean, they wouldn't be there. So I understand. I want everything zero too.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I want everything zero. But we're here to
I
do a
just
job.
don't, I don't agree with litigation telling us how harmful something is.
No,
The science tells us how harmful
So
something is.
you're saying no matter what they say, we should just drive it to zero no matter what?
No,
Well, that's what litigation's saying. It's saying it might be 10, but maybe not.
Right.
Might be 4.
I feel like the litigation outcome is kind of, maybe confuses a couple of things, and I just don't think it changes if we need to treat water or not, right?
Well, I would say on that litigation, if they're no longer challenging that number,
Yeah,
and I put a question mark here, I'll look at, I'll take an action item to do that. Although I know you've done it, I'm not challenging it, just don't have a chance to look at it. Then it's important. If it's no longer an issue, then I agree.
all right, we're gonna put that one, we'll table that off to the side right now, okay? All right, why don't we just take what we got here, have Christie.
I'll make changes.
What
I
changes?
think, have you guys been able to get into your documents yet?
I'll stop
Okay.
by.
Yeah, we need to, instead of emailing stuff around, for now, I'll keep emailing. And I believe you guys can make revisions, email, you can comment, you can say everything, as long as it's not a full discussion
Yeah, we can't talk
with
to
the
each other.
board, yes, with
You
each
know,
other.
we
If you
can-
make a
right.
revision and you wanna email it, kinda like what
Yeah,
we've been doing
right.
this week. So why don't I make
Right.
changes, make
Okay.
comments, we're gonna have another meeting next Wednesday anyway, so.
Sounds good. All right, moving on. PowerPoint presentation. All right, vote to set special meeting for Wednesday, June 3rd at 6 PM. Does anybody have any problem with this? We already talked to the school.
Yes, they called and said that they made a mistake,
Yep.
that 27th, they already had the auditorium booked, so I had asked for a couple extra dates, I reached out to you all individually,
Yep,
said that June 3rd worked, so
okay.
if that works.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, my only question, and this is for you and Mr. Humke. Should we be considering second meeting if this doesn't go, or do you gentlemen feel that one meeting,
Second vote or me?
yeah, second vote?
No, I believe this is, I feel that this is, no one's gonna change their mind on it.
Yeah, I
Either
agree
they're
with
gonna
that.
do it or not. To be honest with you, I feel like most people have already made up their mind on this regardless.
Okay. So you're,
I am,
one go at it,
I'd say
Yep.
one go at
and
it and-
we're going to the authority of the public and done.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Do we need a motion on that?
Yes.
Okay. We need a motion on that.
First,
Motion to set the special meeting for Wednesday, June 3rd at 6 PM at the Lunenburg High School, and publicize as much as we can.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make it worse. All right, next thing we have is discussion regarding the Woodlands kayak rack, including review of draft letter to Mass DEP requesting a variance.
Okay, so just a very quick background, especially for you, Mr. Chair, because you weren't here.
I watched the meeting.
Okay, well then I won't give you any background.
I'm just, no, I mean,
The whole issue is here, this whole thing, as I've been watching back and forth, I thought, what a waste of time for these silly kayak things, but now it's gone past a waste of time. Now we're talking, I hear litigation, attorneys, and I look at the water takers, you know, good increased taxes, they're probably gonna vote in something like a $3 million override. They're-
kayak rack.
Kayak rack.
And so, in addition to that, they're gonna be asking to vote on a $47 million loan. And I heard from Christie last week that hundreds of them are having trouble meeting the bills. I just don't see them wanting to pay for an attorney. So I looked at the letter and, where the heck is it? I know you gave it to me.
yeah, I gave it back, it was on a paper clip.
Yeah, yeah. Did you take it from me?
No, I stapled all of our copies, I don't know, you had one?
Well, I didn't go far.
You can take it if you want.
Oh, here it is, sorry. So you want me to read this, or you want to read it and then comment? I could read it out loud for,
I've read this letter. I've dealt with this issue quite a bit.
I know.
Have you read the letter, Mr. Bursch?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we've all read the letter, so I don't really.
So, full disclosure, I haven't been there until last week.
Okay.
Have you gone down and viewed the site?
Yeah,
You know what these racks are?
yeah, I fished right by it.
Okay. But no, but if you walked out and looked at the racks and looked at the possible location for a change?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay, so I went down specifically with the superintendent last week. I'm like, this thing's out of control. I know you met with him.
Mhm.
I haven't seen it personally. I didn't go down, my bad. I went down last week. From where the racks are to a proposed location that the superintendent showed me, that him and the chair and everybody came up with, it is level ground. And then I looked at the racks, and the other thing I viewed, I would say over half of those haven't been in the water in over a year. And are unregistered for greater time than that. I don't see why it is such a burden for the proposal that the chair worked out with the residents to relocate the racks. It is level ground from where the racks would be outside the zone 1. It actually gives other options for entry into the water, other than the one that they have. I don't see why this has become such a big deal.
I don't either.
So that would be what I would recommend, to go down and see it for yourself. It's not a big deal, and it moves the racks. And if people aren't using these things for a year's time or greater, then that might be something that, for the residents to regulate who gets a rack and who doesn't get a rack.
So,
So those were my observations in going down there. So I'm less likely, I think that a compromise has been offered.
I'm going to give my synopsis on this. I'm going to tag on Fran for some dates. Bill, if at any point of what I'm saying here, you don't believe is true or you want to discuss, please do so, okay? When was that Hickory Hills well installed?
95.
Okay, we reinstalled in 95. The Woodlands property, I remember in high school, kind of went to, it was empty for a while, whatever. Needless to say, the Woodlands becomes that property down there. Sometime in between 1995, 96, 97, wherever the Woodlands took place, to 2024, a kayak rack was put in a location inside the Zone 1. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you agree with that?
No. What year? What year?
I said sometime between 1997 and 2024,
No.
a kayak rack was placed inside the Zone
I
1.
don't agree with the dates.
Okay, when do you think it was put in?
At least since March of 1994,
Okay,
at least since.
So when we dug the water main, built the building,
right.
that would have been destroyed.
Right, right,
And then no one even knows there was a boathouse there.
okay.
So
So
you
you
want
say-
me
Green boathouse.
you want me to continue on that, or
You
want
think
to-
it was there since 1994? Okay, I disagree.
So you want me to tell you why I think they're?
Sure.
So these are, call them affidavits, that sounds very legal, but I guess it is an affidavit, it's not notarized or anything, but here's someone who's been there, said, testified Woodlands and stores Kaiser Rack in their present location from March of 1994. This is a resident of rural Foreigner, and he was part of,
Okay.
he helped build them.
All right,
He actually helped build
all
them.
right, so Bill,
Here's
I'm
another,
gonna stop you.
let me, allow
No,
me.
because it's irrelevant, and I'm going to tell you.
It's
why.
irrelevant, you're giving me a date that disagrees with this.
Okay, so let's say they were there in 94.
Okay,
Okay?
yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. That kayak rack is in the Zone 1. Do we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this had come up due to a sanitary survey. The DEP went down there, and the DEP said to the superintendent, hey man, you can't have those things there in the Zone 1. My friend said, oh, geez. Followed up by a resident coming to this meeting and formally complaining and saying, hey, those racks are in Zone 1. Now, as sitting as the chairman of the board, I would think that would be my due diligence to do something if someone says, hey, we have an infraction, correct? Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. At that time, I requested to meet with the individuals at the Woodlands, and I said, you don't need lawyers or anything, I just wanted, we have a couple of violations, just go down there and let's just figure this out, the lowest level. And we had a great meeting, Bob.
With their lawyer.
With,
And they brought a lawyer.
They brought a lawyer there, that's fine. We went through, and there was no vehicles allowed down there, sometimes those golf carts, they said, okay, no problem, we'll put those down. Fertilization couldn't be happening there, and the kayak. Okay, at this meeting, Bob P. said to me, hey, if we get a letter from the DEP saying that we can keep this kayak rack here, are you okay with it? Now, as being a compromising person, I could have said, absolutely not, our easement forbiddingly restricts us, but I was like, you know what, no problem. If you can get a letter from the DEP saying this rack's okay, I'd be okay with it, that's a good compromise, right? Okay.
Front
So,
door pump station's a van.
fast forward.
Supposed kayak rack is.
They do not get a letter from the DEP. Okay, but that was what we said, if you give me a letter from the DEP, no problem, man, I get it. No letter was given from the DEP. Instead, a letter from the DEP said, no, you cannot keep those kayak racks there. So to me, that is the appeal that you're writing about here. It's already been appealed, we already went through this to say, hey, you know what, if the DEP's okay with it, I'm okay with it. The DEP's already said, no, it can't stay there. Now, this is talking from February of last year, during which time I requested to talk to them, no one will talk to me from them about it. They just, no, communicate with the lawyer, which I don't really think is the way to handle business, but that's fine. We've been polite, we've asked, it doesn't need to be there, but more importantly, you talked the other day about a simple solution to this. Those racks could be moved in 20 minutes, and this problem is solved. That's it. So I do not support this letter one iota.
This, and why don't you support the letter?
Because-
Because of the history you're giving me?
No, because we've already, this is asking like the third time. We've already done it.
This would be similar to us saying, if we get a no vote at our June 3rd meeting, well, let's just go at it again. We've already gone to the authority, which would be the DEP, and they've asked them, through an engineer, and DEP has said no, so.
So I don't want.
I don't anticipate them,
So,
approving this.
well, maybe not. So, but what's wrong with the letter? Why don't we, I mean, you didn't have an issue with the kayaks being there. Fran didn't have an issue with the kayaks being there. I don't give a damn.
Nobody does.
Nobody
DEP
has
does.
an issue.
Nobody
Okay,
does.
Okay, so
And they're our
DEP
regulating
DE
authority.
Exactly, and DEP says take them out.
And-
But DEP also indicate what the regulation is, and want me to read it? This request is made in accordance with this reg, which provides that land uses within the zone may include activities not directly related to water supply operations if it can be demonstrated that such uses have no significant impact on water quality. So they have given us a kind of, I'm thinking about, because I heard the word litigation, and I heard costs, and I heard attorneys. They gave you, there's a lifeline here to solve the problem. There is a lifeline. No one's made a request based on this. And this letter says there has been no demonstrated impact on the
So,
quality of the water.
I can almost put this in a parallel situation. Let's say you own a piece of property and you built a shed, and it encroached onto your neighbor's lands who you were best friends with. And he's like, I don't care. You know, it's on my land, the corner's on my land, I don't care. Now, in the future, either the neighbor sells his property or says, hey man, I don't want that shed, the corner of it's on my land, okay? It's like me being like, tough shit, I'm just leaving it there, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. You can't do that. That's not being neighborly, that's not being compromising, okay? Shed needs to be moved. This is the same exact situation. This is becoming a complicated issue for no other reason. I don't understand why they just don't move the racks, and secondly, they won't even come talk to us about it. I just don't, I don't understand. Like, why don't
other
you
thing-
move it?
I can't deal, I mean, that's
A couple.
way beyond my pay grade,
The
right?
concern-
All I know is there's an issue here that could possibly be solved by asking them for variance. And there's in the whole
They already
document,
asked.
They already
no,
asked.
there has not been, I haven't seen it, where is it?
The whole paperwork that they sent to DEP.
I heard no, have we?
The lawyers put together a whole package of everything that they sent
Yeah.
to DEP, requesting all of that from their,
You received
not
it.
to mention the protection
was
guy.
it-
So
that
they
was-
put together, so the Woodlands lawyer and that group put together a whole package. They sent it to DEP. DEP then responded with this letter to us saying, no. Everything that group sent us, our answer is no. So then, second time, we received all of this paperwork again. Two residents came in and dropped it off. So Fran then called DEP and said, hey, we received all this paperwork from them. I know you already sent us the letter, but we received all this paperwork. Do you want me to send it to you? And they said, no, we are done. We do not want anything else. We have already answered you. We are not changing our mind.
Yeah, I mean,
So you're talking about a simple answer. Here we are talking for a half hour about putting letters together and going to DEP. The simple solution is we've already done all that. They have to move the kayak rack 20 feet, Bill. That's it.
That's it.
That's the simple
When was this picture
solution.
taken?
I'm not there. I'm with
Well,
the
online,
DEP,
online.
but they could, they said the
You're not wet.
slopes and the vegetation, all that stuff was in there about where they could move and not move. But I'm saying, has an official request for
Is that a
variance
pile of
been
dirt or
asked
something?
of the
We
DEP?
told,
But what, I
We
don't
don't-
understand.
they
If you
told
send
Fran,
this, they'll
no,
say,
we're
they
done.
send another piece of paper back and say, no, variance
he's
is
already
denied.
told Fran that.
I've already
I
done
haven't,
that.
where is it? Where is this variance letter? I haven't seen it. Where have we requested a variance? I'm
By-
trying to,
By asking them, can we keep the kayak racks there? That, to me, is the variance letter, the
No, this is
proposal.
telephone,
So
sorry.
you wanna do it a third time?
no, a telephone call doesn't cover it. A telephone call doesn't cover
Then
it.
why don't they just move the
Okay.
racks?
That's a question for another, I mean, it's a
Couple
different
things.
question for me.
Couple
It's a
things.
You wanna put it on the
different
agenda?
Bill, I
question. Go ahead, I don't
All
care.
right, next meeting, I
Just
had
a couple-
already spoke to
couple
the
of things.
lawyer
No.
and requested, I had already
Couple
spoke
things.
to the lawyer to request that he would be here. He said he had plans. I will follow up with him, he's supposed to get back to me this week, and I will see if he's available for next Wednesday for you as
I-
the board to come to have a
I wanna
conversation.
know why a request for a variance consistent with the regulation and even refer to an appeal in that letter, actually. Why? What is wrong with simply sending it? We're afraid to get them mad?
No, cause they've
Because
already
we've
said no
already
3
said
No,
times.
I haven't, show me and I'm out of here. Show me. This is a request for a variance. It might take them 5 minutes to say no. But it will come on paper.
Hey, if that came back as a no, then what would be your next move?
Yeah, well, then we're
Then we ask
in
them
the
to
corner.
move.
Then that's a whole other issue. Then I'm afraid it might be litigation. I don't know. I'm not that close to it. I'm not that close to it.
So,
So I don't know what the next one is, but I did hear litigation, and I hear money, and I hear who's gonna have to open their wallets. The water takers are gonna have to open their wallets for this. And I said, maybe we can bypass it. Here's a lifeline, let's find out
Why?
officially.
But why do it again and again and again?
But is my mind, we haven't done it.
Can we
Where?
send
Show
one
me.
more letter to, before we do that, can we invite the lawyers here to say, listen, we don't, not our lawyers, their lawyer, because we've been told we have to speak through them. Why can't you guys just move 20 feet?
I don't
That's more
care.
than 20 feet.
Or
They're
whatever,
more
I'm
than
sorry,
20 feet,
I'm
but
sorry,
it's
I
whatever.
don't care. I know if it's farther from the water, I know.
We've already gotten all the answers from E DEP.
I know there's a question of carrying them, I know her
Bill,
slope and all that. I'll go down and look at it.
are those
But-
bad?
Okay, so
I
we'll
don't
just
care,
invite them next
I
week.
can care less, but I still haven't heard an answer as to why we don't request a variance.
Because when the conversation was had
From
from
day
him
one, I
to the
haven't-
lawyer, they specifically said, can we ask DEP if we can keep this here? And the
I
chairman said yes.
And they said,
But if they don't support it, you
They
need
would-
to move it.
and they said,
Okay.
okay.
So
I have the letter.
why do
They
we
even-
have
they
to
even
continue
showed
to
their
fight for that?
proposed-
Yeah, they even showed the
Yeah.
proposed location
This
of
is
it.
such a benign thing, I don't understand.
Why they can't just move it then?
Right.
That's so
But
weird.
that's not
So
the
do
topic.
you think we should just turn our backs on it after it's been brought up to us by the DEP and the resident, being like, no big deal? It totally is benign. This is a complete waste of time.
Exactly.
But at this point, now we have to do our due diligence and finalize this. Do you think we should just turn away?
Well, then you got Joan Pease going to DEP saying that we don't enforce the restrictive easement. That's,
Well, there,
she went on a public hearing and said that, and we can put that on Facebook if you guys all wanna see it. But she went on and said we don't enforce it, so to me,
So this is
she's
enforcing.
giving us a kick in the butt, that we need to do our job, enforce that restriction.
So I see, that's what some of this I see that's going on here, and I don't wanna be part of it.
To me,
Well, buddy,
That doesn't-
you're in the
this-
same-
No, I mean, that's not the point I'm arguing, I wouldn't argue that, if there's some sort of hidden agenda here or something like that, I don't,
There's no hidden
okay,
agenda.
Well, so here's the document, they have come back and said, move those kayaks, unless you have demonstrated that it has not affected the quality of the water. And I have a letter here saying, we'd like to take advantage of that and appeal it, ask for a variance, because we have demonstrated, we have demonstrated, or whoever has demonstrated, that it hasn't affected the quality of water. So send it and they can say no. I just don't understand the complication.
We get a lot
Do
of
you
stuff.
really care, do you care if the kayaks are there or not? I mean,
well, after
No,
going
yeah,
down,
forget about all
I'll
the
tell you
hassle,
honestly, after going down there and seeing what it looks like and seeing how many kayaks are almost look abandoned there,
It looks like a
Yes.
junkyard. It looks like a
and,
junkyard.
and when I came back from that, what did I tell you, Fran, about our building?
It needs to be
Well, we gotta
updated.
clean
Yeah,
that up.
our building's looking pretty bad down there, and I told him that we need to start considering making it look a little better down there.
True.
I'm sorry.
And since the inception of one kayak rack, it had babies. There's like 8 kayak racks down there. So
10 racks.
it
Well,
is becoming,
it's also-
a heavier use
It is
than
included,
original.
in the letter, that there will be no more. That is included in here.
Yeah, but half of the kayaks aren't being used that are
I
there.
honestly, like that point, and I understand it, that doesn't even mean anything.
No,
The bottom line is there's a zone 1 circle, there's a rack inside of it, it needs to be moved out.
Which
And
has
that's
nothing
it.
to do with all that stuff you put in 100-foot, the cone of influence was
Yeah.
probably half the speed, don't even know what it is. That doesn't apply, it's a 400-foot radius, doesn't care what the cone of influence, well number 1, the cone goes this way, doesn't even go that way. So every well is different, and like that well, actually the water goes one way more so than the other way. So a lot of information there does not belong in a letter to DP, because it's just showing that you guys don't know what you're talking about.
The bottom line is there should be no structure inside 400-foot zone.
That's part of the easement. There is no structures allowed in that easement.
Unless,
That's where the supposed
No, I don't think the
kayak
easement
racks
says
are in
that.
1994.
Easement does not say unless.
no, the letter that tells them to move it says unless. It does say unless, I just
Okay,
read
but
it.
that's regardless, our easement doesn't
Our
say that,
easement
so.
says
Right.
Uh,
But bottom line is, Bill, so when I went down there originally, I could have been like, no, our easement says this, I don't even wanna talk to you guys. And I didn't, I said, no, let's figure something
Well,
out.
you know, I didn't, you know, there was a correspondence saying that the commissioners want that out of there independent, independent of what DEP says. So,
So
There was
that.
an easement?
No.
so
correspondence.
it is, it's not just the DEP, it was a position of, based on what I saw anyway. I don't wanna go there, but you brought it up, so I went there. I don't understand the resistance to asking for a variance. It's such a standard kind of thing to do. They could say no,
All right.
and they say no, then we go back to the debate. But I just don't understand it, not at all.
Alright, I'm sorry you don't understand it,
Well-
we've been through it many times. I'm not sending it, I'll put my name on it, that's it. Okay? Moving on, unless anybody else has a reattack on this.
Well, let me make it official then, because I move that we send this letter to the DEP requesting a variance for the kayak rack.
All those in favor?
No, it has to be
there's no
second.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry,
Alright, so,
I'll get it one of these days.
You're close, you're real close.
Yeah, keep my off forever.
So get ready, I guess, and start paying attorneys. Ridiculous.
Okay.
Okay.
We're going back to the zone one, Mr. Chair.
Oh, discuss regarding the removal of the tree in the Woodlands condo going through the zone one.
The second reason, my field trip with the superintendent.
I think I gave you all copies, none of these copies, these emails from, Joan Pease were sent to the
Yeah.
water district, they were sent directly to the commissioners, and then Mr. MP forwarded it to me, so
Okay, I
So-
I don't know if you guys have it, I don't know why
I
none
read
of
it.
it was sent to the water district.
Yeah, I read it.
They're all asking me, well, I don't know.
I
Yeah, never
considered,
sent to
I
us.
considered how we have to protect the zone one. I considered a lot of things that have conspired over the last couple of years about residents' interest in protecting the zone one and the environment. And then I looked at the job that needs to be done as far as the trees that are flagged, and I know a little something, because I've done a few of these. There is another way than driving directly through the center of the zone one to do this job. And I'm not in favor of allowing passage directly through the center of the zone one to do the job. There is a way to not touch the zone one and do the job, but I understand that that probably comes at some significant additional cost. I did see another way to access what they were trying to do, but I believe it also touches but a perimeter of the zone one. So I am not in favor of allowing them to go through the center of the zone one to do this project.
Okay. Are you?
With heavy equipment.
Okay.
That was clearly leaks oil.
Hey,
Yeah,
we don't need
yeah,
to,
we don't want to say it's doing the job, but.
Well, no, she did in this letter.
Oh, true,
Which
true.
actually, you said that you had an attachment that Mr. Bursch wrote something up, and I asked if you
Oh,
could send
Mr.
it.
Flagg.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Flagg. You said,
Oh, I think he just had a quote. I think I saw it. It was
Oh,
just
I
like-
don't know, you
It
said-
was like a tree quote. It
No, I
wasn't.
just forwarded what was sent to me.
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, I sent
thought
you
it
the
was
email.
sent to
There's
everybody. I
some-
thought it was
No,
sent
she
to all
did send it to
commissioners.
No.
To the commissioners, but not to the
Oh,
water
to the
district.
commissioners, yeah.
No, not to the water district.
Well, oh, so you, the water district versus the commissioners?
You didn't
We
send
didn't
it-
know
you-
anything about it,
She sent it
that's
to
all.
the commissioners, not the district, which is.
So you got a copy.
I did see the copy of that letter,
You got a
yes.
copy.
And I believe what Flag wrote was just like this standard quote on the back
Yeah.
of the tree. As I recall.
the two other ways, they could access closer to the residency. I would have to ask the superintendent's opinion as far as skirting the zone one, what his thought would be. Or you hire a crane, which definitely comes at some cost, so I'm not you know, I understand that.
Can
But
you-
there are other ways to do the project.
Can you
than
describe it
centers
to-
on them.
Here verbally, what the other
Well,
ways that he could,
We looked at it, they can either go right around the residence, right off the driveway,
Yeah, they just skirt along the, yeah, side of the
which
house
could
on the
cause some
grass.
damage to their landscape, but if they're gonna cause damage to their landscape, what do you think it's gonna do to the zone one, going right through the center of the zone one? So I'm not in favor of that.
that's all
You
hard
can-
pack, that was all hard pack. They're
Not what I saw, there's, with the, what you need to bring in there to do that is definitely going to impact. And plus the risk, you know, they don't let motorized vehicles into zone one for a reason. So there's risk every time a motor vehicle goes through the zone one.
I'll chime in on this while I have not seen this. But the zone one is the zone one, and I'm sorry that, you know, putting a truck in there, look at what happens if something, what happens if there's an accident, you're below a hydraulic line or something. Like, it's too close, and that's what that zone one's for. So to put a tree truck in there, well, I love the operator of it, like, it's too risky, and
And it
that's what
doesn't
the
matter if
zone.
it's a brand new tree
Right,
truck.
it's the zone one, and that's why it's protected, so I don't wanna see a
Do you,
vehicle
do
in there.
you, do you ever drive in zone one? Do you ever,
We do.
a pickup truck?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but he's been down in the past, before any of this other issues ever came up, I've kicked him out of it before.
Yeah.
He was in bad spots that
Yeah.
he shouldn't have been.
Right.
So I've noted two other ways that the project can be done, other than going through the center of the zone one. I would prefer that it is done with a crane from the driveway. That is the safest way to protect the lake and the zone one.
Okay.
But there are other ways, and then I guess, how close is the zone one, can they access that close to the house, to the two trees that they had there?
They'll be right on the edge of the zone one. Yeah, the zone one goes by 6 feet from the corner of that house.
Yeah. And there's other types of equipment that they can get in there that you don't need a bucket truck for. There are man lifts that drive through 3-foot gates that go over 100 feet in the air. So there are other ways than driving directly through the zone one. So I am,
The only, my
I'm
only,
against allowing the type of equipment that they're requesting through the zone one.
my only reference was my neighbor's house a couple of years ago became actually sort of a tourist site. A huge pine took out this ranch, roof to the ground. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
good thing that people weren't in it, they clearly would have been killed. And it was scary. So I'm very much in support of taking the damn trees out.
I think they should
Okay?
take the tree down, absolutely.
So I don't know how,
I get it, there's other methods to do it that don't require you
it'll
driving.
just cost
directly
more
through the
money, is
zone
that
one.
it?
Well, it all depends who your, depends who the contractor is, and, some people have different types of equipment.
My neighbor had a tree taken down in their backyard from their front yard the other day, and I was impressed. In like an hour, they were just gone. Craned it right over. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
So is she expecting a response from one of you, like she didn't, I haven't talked to him at all, like,
This came out of the blue, I have no idea.
I-
I know what
so
you know.
if, dude, oh, you know more, I didn't know anything, you guys got
what is
this.
your-
Oh, I'm
on,
sorry, yeah,
yeah.
what the rest
No,
of that
so
letter,
if
that's
you
all.
two are, to sum it up, if you two are not in support, are you as commissioners answering Joan Pease? Is the water district answering her, or the commissioners?
Something with me.
I mean, I guess, I don't know, I'm just trying to sum up what
No,
you guys
you-
are,
Well, since you know these different ways of doing it, could you respond and indicate that,
I can respond real easily. You can get a crane from the driveway,
Well,
you can get a man lift that would walk, a track man lift that would walk across the side property very easily. Small track loader, I am dead set against going across the causeway between the well at the center of the zone one, or the well house at the center, or close to the center of the zone one, across that, access past the well house. I think that they can access it from the property itself, and
Okay. So I'm just gonna black and white. That's kind of how I like to run things. So basically, we're not gonna allow them to enter the zone one. How they choose to remove the tree is
so
their
there's
business.
there's
okay?
a great, how close does it come to the actual structure there, the zone one?
Yeah, I think it's feet, 6 feet, 10 feet.
So I'm okay if they had to bring equipment in from the side we looked at, what are we talking about that they would be? 2 or 3 feet into the zone one.
Yeah, nothing I'm concerned.
Not
about.
driving directly through the center of the zone one. That's really my,
Are you
So-
gonna respond to
So
this?
why doesn't
So-
the person reach out to the superintendent
well,
who
so,
manages that and have them meet him on site?
Here's, all right, so this is my thought here. No, you can't go inside the zone one. There's already, we know what the 400. If we're gonna have some people encroaching or whatever, who's gonna say how much you can encroach and where and what? So, my vote here is absolutely not, you can't go into zone one. I hope they get this tree down safely and soon, but unfortunately, you can't go into zone one. How they choose to execute this tree takedown is their business. I'm not a tree guy.
So who's gonna respond to the emails? 'Cause
Well, so
you
this
guys
is,
got 'em, so
this
I
is
mean,
kinda tricky,
You- you-
because I thought we weren't supposed to respond back to them, we were
we
supposed to go to
can't
their lawyer.
individually, it's gotta come to the board.
Just let it die right here. They're gonna watch it.
All
and
right,
then
well,
they'll figure it
hopefully
out.
they
Alright,
watch it,
decisions
if they,
made.
reach out to the water department, because I don't know how to respond to you. Let's vote on this, I would take a motion on this, Mr. Bursch.
Trying to,
Can I-
I understand.
Just say
You can say it, but you can say
alternative ways.
All right, I'm gonna make,
Well, there are alternative ways to do the project. And I guess I'm okay with if you gotta like skirt the edge of the zone.
okay, and I understand that.
So that's kind of where I'm okay with, but I'm dead set against going through the center of the zone one with any kind of machinery.
My problem with the verbiage of you can
I know,
skirt the
I know.
edges, there's no definition of that, you know what I'm saying?
What
And
happens
then-
when they skirt the edge
Right,
with
to
the
skirt the edge,
kayak?
right, you know, so I'm, you know.
So I guess based on that and based on how we've had to be corrected in the past to the letter of the law, my motion would be that I would motion that there is no allowance of entry in, around, or through the zone one for tree removal at that residence, that there are other methods that can be used to take the tree down.
Do I hear a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Should we at least reach out real quick? I know they came to us, they didn't come, but can we instruct the clerk treasurer or the superintendent to just, hey, we talked about it, you can't have anything in the zone one.
I can,
Sure.
Okay. Just so you know.
Yeah.
If they wanted to try to
Superintendent, send email.
reconsider and come to one of our next meetings,
All right. We good on that? We're cranking these right out. It's 2 hours in.
Yeah,
All righty. Number 8. Ooh, yeah, the discussion on the preparation of the Board of Water Commissioners' agendas.
Oh, that was mine.
That
yeah,
was
that
you,
was
Bill.
Bill's request.
Yeah, it actually started with, when I asked for some, by the way, I wouldn't have any, this is terrific as far as I'm concerned, the current agenda. But there was an item that I'd asked for something, that we put it down under additions. I would just recommend that we put items that are asked to be put on the agenda, that are put on the agenda, put down as an explicit item, which is what we've done here.
Okay.
So that is, rather than put under additions, because we just don't know what's gonna be
I
added.
think I misunderstood, which I think Mr. Burch had mentioned to you afterwards too. I didn't realize the extent of your questions or discussion. I thought it was just that you had a few things to say. So, and it was very new when you first started, and you had said, I have questions about, I forget what it was, the SRF. So I had said, we always have the additions. I didn't realize that it was that extent when Mr. Burch had said, next time, we should make that an item agenda. So I think that was just mine and yours miscommunication. I
Oh,
think
okay.
now, emailing and going through this, we've gotten those down.
And the other things about additions to the agenda, you have to post the agenda 48 hours, correct?
Yep.
So I'm just recommending that our additions appear between 48 and 72, a recommendation for it. That would give, you, if we put something in and there's a problem, that gives us a whole day to get back and forth.
Oh, yeah,
I see what he's saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
So-
in other words,
I think
if
we
three
did, we
days-
started
yeah,
last week,
yeah.
for being posted for Monday, so.
So if you like made a
just-
draft on over the week, let's say, because you only have to post them on Monday, correct?
I have to post on Monday.
So, let's say by Friday, if you could send us the draft of like,
Sure.
this is what I'd want, and if you hear nothing back, it means good, or, hey, I'd like to,
Discussion.
like I talked to you about the Woodlands, and being like, hey, can you reach out to
Yeah,
your
yeah.
attorney, you know what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
you know, like, so
Yeah.
would that be good for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's
That makes
just,
sense.
it'd be 3 days ahead of time
Yeah.
to give us
Just
a chance to
Sure.
go back and
Sure.
forth on it.
Absolutely.
Also, I'd love to have action items listed on here.
So-
I always forget.
Yeah, so this one became a lot bigger than originally. This was just supposed to be, talking to superintendent, this was mainly supposed to be about going over,
Right.
over this.
Yeah.
And then I think with all the emails going around,
Sure.
you guys all of a sudden got the email from the Woodlands about that, the kayak rack was brought up. So this turned into a bigger meeting, but yes, going forward, if
This
there's
is
specific.
just a standard thing, action items, none, goodbye.
Yeah, we used to carry those.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, I can put that back on.
Totally.
And one last thing is the distribution. Again, I'm gonna go back to the discussions earlier last year about participation of the public.
I'm sorry,
There's
a distribution of what?
Distribution of the agenda. It goes on our website.
Yeah,
It goes
according
on
to
our
our
feed.
bylaws, I only have to do it at town hall and here. But I make a point to do the website,
And it goes-
Facebook, as much as I can. It's
Uh-huh.
always the two places that are required.
I'm not critiquing, I'm just
Yeah,
making, I'm making a suggestion. There's another, there's a town not a town website, a town Facebook, Lunenburg something, Facebook, Lunenburg,
She
help me
does.
out, Lunenburg,
Discussing.
Independent-
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a Lunenburg.
so you want me to share to other groups?
It can, I don't know, can you post it in there?
she does.
That
I
was-
can, well, I
Yeah,
always
share
do it to the, well, I do a lot, I don't always do the agenda to every group, but I do the agenda on the Facebook, cause the problem that we're
Yeah.
finding is that like, you know, we put it on the group, then, 10 people comment on the Lunenburg censored site, instead of coming to the water district to talk to us about things, but I have no problem with doing that, I can share it to groups.
It's not a website,
The
it's a Facebook
uncensored.
Yeah.
page, it's called Lunenburg something, cause this pops up on my email, not on my computer all the time,
Because
Lunenburg.
he ain't Donnie.
Yeah, there is a
I
couple
didn't,
of
I
them.
didn't.
There is a,
Well,
I
that's
mean-
how
I mean,
you were
I-
elected.
so you just
No, I
want me
mean,
to
I
share,
did, but I didn't.
so share the
I didn't have
Facebook
it.
posts
I didn't.
to other.
follow
I'm not, I'm,
Boy, I really wish you
I would
did.
like, I would like to put a pin in that,
Okay.
and I would like to think about that till our next meeting as far as sharing on other sites. I'm sorry, I'd like to consider that because some of the stuff on those sites, it's not an official site for us.
Yep.
And if, and
The Lunenburg
I'd like
uncensored
to,
one.
I'd like to
Right.
ponder that.
Yeah,
I-
Lunenburg uncensored, I didn't.
There's a bunch of
right.
sites.
So maybe this is where we
So-
go back to it and
And-
look at specific sites to
and
figure out which ones you would like me
for-
specifically to share with.
When it gets exposure to the town, I mean, they don't typically, I don't think they look at your page, I don't think they look at the water district Facebook page.
If they're like, if it's a town page,
Yeah, I think it is a town.
okay, if it's the
page.
town page, I have no
not
problem.
a
I think
town
what
page.
he,
Is it
oh,
not?
So, I'm just kinda curious.
so why don't you just let me know next meeting
Yeah,
where to share it?
okay.
I'd like to look,
Just
I
look
would
on
like to
Facebook,
look
tell me
into
the
it a
group,
little
that's
bit.
all though.
I don't
I
wanna,
just don't know, there are multiple groups,
Action item.
action item.
Yeah.
Facebook.
So, the couple things I have to just kinda
Alright.
add with this, Mr. Emke, is I do believe that the chair still has final say on what's on the agenda and what's not.
No
If he
question.
feels he needs to drop something, he can tell us either why, or we can talk to him about it.
It would be nice, but yeah, I agree.
And I think that was about it. And I would agree that commissioner, superintendent, clerk, treasurer's additions are for short-term items or items that we need to put on that need deeper discussion.
Sure.
We've kind of lost track of that.
I don't really think so.
The last couple
Yeah, we
meetings,
did.
no, we-
Yeah.
me and Bill didn't have an understanding,
Okay.
and it's not, we're like, hey, let's discuss this thing under additions, and then 45 minutes later, we're still on the same topic.
Sorry, I was thinking more.
It should be more brief.
Yes.
If we
Okay.
could try to do that, that would be great.
Right, and I agree with that. If there's something that us three want to discuss with each other.
But we can't.
In here you
In
can.
here we
Oh,
can.
here,
Yeah.
Then we can
that's
put
what
that on the we could put that on
On a
there.
future agenda.
Right, you know, like,
Yep,
why is Woody bald, and like, you know, we'll discuss it,
okay.
okay? Yeah, so
Can we
I,
put that on for next?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
action item.
action item. I'll start growing now.
All right,
We're almost near the end, right?
yeah, we're getting close.
So by my count, you guys, for 2 hours, you guys spoke 1 hour and 15 minutes, and I spoke.
I'm not gonna argue with that. This is almost more than him. He's pretty quiet.
You got me fired up, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay,
We're
pass,
almost
all
done.
right, yes. All right, so,
Please.
we'll go with the action number 9, we're gonna
Yes.
put a pin in that, and
Yep.
we will, reattack that.
Yep.
Okay? Okay. Commissioner, Superintendent, Collector District, what do you got, Frank?
I only got, one thing, we had a broken main last Thursday. It was a resident in Northfield Road, asked us, who's doing an electric line, and, he asked us to mark the water service that goes to the house. So we marked the water service, they dug it up and put, ground rods in, poked 3 holes through the water.
Oh, my God.
So, I was pretty upset, sent them a bill, and, so I was talking to Mark about it, and, it was like, well, why didn't you mark them? You know, so I was like, we weren't fully, typically when you say you're working in this area, you mark everything in the area. But he said he was just doing service, electric line service, typically it's 2 feet deep, I don't really care about that, as long as the curb stops.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know if we would consider, the bill came out to $4,140. I didn't know if you guys would be okay with dropping that down to maybe just cover the material, or material labor. Cause I mean, I got on there the backhoe and
Oh, I saw you out there.
I wasn't there.
Well, I guess my question is, so, when someone calls DigSafe, Lunenburg Water is not called, correct?
He calls us independent.
You call independently and be like, hey, I need you to mark out the water on this project, and did he do that?
Yes.
Yes, I actually met him once, I talked to him.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm digging from this pole up and going to the corner house this way. And I said, okay, we'll mark the water line, and we marked it out, it was down the whole right side of the
Sure.
property, wasn't going anywhere near any of our stuff. So I didn't know he was driving ground rods, and he did it 3 times because he couldn't,
No.
it was all beggar.
He thought it was ledge.
Oh, I talked to PJ, I was like, sounded awful, is what it sounded like, right through that AC name. I don't know, I gotta tell you, like, I kind of feel like on the contractors end, he did the right thing, DigSafe, he called you guys, where's the water line? If you went out and marked it out, I would feel free to dig in anywhere but that area. How does he know the main's not across the street?
I agree,
You know.
I agree, so that's kind of where I feel like we're not out of it clear. We do have some to blame here, so if you wanna make it go away, I have no concerns with that.
How much was it?
We charged for the backhoe and everything, it was
Yeah.
$4,000. The material we used to fix it was $500.
500, so really it's 500.
Normally, I'd be like, hey, absolutely, you're billing that contractor, but in this case where he called you to go out there to see where the water line is, and
Okay,
I'm,
Well, he did show him the area that they were gonna be digging,
mhm.
and they were specific about what they wanted marked. So I think it's a gray area.
but he did
So-
call, and that's what I think we.
So I
could've
guess
marked
like
it.
where he drove the ground rods, which was next to the pole, I'm assuming, yes, yeah. Just kept pounding it.
Yeah, thought it was ledge, so we went to the next spot, thought it was.
That's,
I support waiving it, so I mean, that's why I brought it to you, I wasn't gonna stand firm with it, but,
Does this require a motion?
Yeah.
It's
I don't know.
really- it
It's
wasn't
not-
on the
it's not-
agenda,
Yeah, it
so-
wasn't on it, but it's not
But
an
if you
official
guys-
bill, this was just an estimate of what we were gonna charge him.
Oh,
So
good.
it's not like we've sent them, we're gonna bill him anything, this was an estimate for you
So-
guys to
so
know, it
you
was
just-
4,000.
I kinda got your opinion, I'll just let.
We
make
just
it
won't
go
bill him
in,
for it.
And yeah, you don't need to vote.
Is that
Yeah.
what you were gonna motion towards?
It's $500.
yeah, I mean, it's,
Well, $500
Dude,
parts plus all the time.
it's one of those things that happens.
Yeah.
I can't really put blame on him, I can't, at the same time, I can understand from you, because I saw you guys doing it, this is right after they paved the road, and I was like, ugh. So, yeah. Okay, moving on.
Got anything else?
Along the way of maintaining old infrastructure, are you aware, it's called a supplemental grant that the state has for, I keep struggling with that word, not under,
Yeah, we're under,
Develop.
no.
disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
There we go.
Disadvantaged, that there is a fund there that helps disadvantaged communities for old infrastructure.
I don't think we're labeled as disadvantaged.
Yeah,
We're labeled
we're-
as small.
Oh.
No, so we're tier one disadvantaged, yeah.
I thought the median income was too high, but,
Uh,
I got.
You forward me whatever you have, we'll look at
Yeah,
it.
I feel like we're pretty good at sniffing out grants for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I brought it, I was looking for it, but, oh,
Yeah, shoot me an email, what
it's
you
not
think.
an action item.
I have a couple things. I suggested that we have our meetings on every Wednesday night until the vote. I wanted the board's opinion on that, and I wanted to reconsider spending of funds as far as notifying the public of the meeting and trying to get more information out about what this entails. We were called out at town meeting that maybe we should send postcards to every resident of the district and inform them of when we have our meetings. So, should we be doing that for this, to let them know? And yes, it's taken us 2 meetings, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to develop this.
Mm.
I don't think with the time we have between now and June 3rd, I think we need to have some independent help. That's, whether we have this next Wednesday's meeting or whether we discuss that out now, those are my thoughts.
Can we discuss that out now? Because I feel time is of the essence.
I feel time is of the essence, but I don't know if that's, if we
I
all
agree.
agree on it.
Yeah.
You know, like, we
Would
talked
you-
about that, right?
Would you
I
care to
mean,
discuss this, Bill?
It's probably something that
I'm
if you
retired.
guys just want a postcard drawn up, that's probably something, I mean, didn't you say you used to do the stuff through the, post office, like just go there and do it direct, like?
So,
Yeah, but who designs a postcard?
Yeah, we get.
How do we get it out there? And in the time frame that we have you're doing your daily tasks.
Yeah.
Is it easier just to talk to Capital Strategic and say, we need a postcard saying we're having a special meeting? It's
Okay.
regarding
And why-
SRF funding to treat PFAS.
So
This
just
is the
cost.
date, it's in the gym or in the auditorium. And I think we need to be doing more regular posts, which on top of what the clerk treasurer does on a daily basis, we need to just keep drilling out. We're having this, keep throwing this out. So people ask the questions and you have the conversations. I had somebody ask me today, my opinion, hey, you went to town meeting, what is the whole deal with the override? And we had a little bit of a conversation. So you need to spur those conversations between people so that they can formulate opinions and either vote for this or not vote for it.
So would you like something like I can call Capital Strategic, would you like a
I will-
quote for postcards and Facebook posts?
I don't know if I want to, I'm almost prepared to, based on her past quotes, that we allocate some money towards this.
Actually, she had it on that last one, didn't she?
Mhm.
Do you want me to find it and get it all out?
well, put it this way, last time we were discussing this, I believe that we were around $4,000 for Nicole. We'll have different numbers, higher, lower, et cetera, et cetera. Do you just want to make a vote on that we authorize for Nicole for social media mailers? Now, listen, just letting you guys know that we discussed the postcards last time or a couple times ago, and the reason why we weren't doing them is because we felt everybody just threw them out.
Yeah,
So-
well, it came up at town, they talked about not sending out the warrants anymore. And just sending a postcard saying, hey, town meeting's gonna happen at this date, come get your warrant at
I
the town hall or
personally
wherever.
am in favor of the postcards because I look at it, but that's just me. I mean, I don't know,
Even if we can reach,
You mean
Right.
just for the special.
I
meeting.
also.
Quarter
Just for this
before.
special meeting, sending
Oh, yeah,
out,
just for the special meeting.
Yep.
I think it's, the special meeting's pretty important.
well,
So,
It's-
all right. So let's, if one agrees, to vote, because we should vote on this, to have Nicole send out postcards and hire Nicole to give us some social media presence in,
publicizing the meeting
publicizing the information in the meeting.
and set a number at it.
First set the number,
Huh?
the first set the
Well,
number.
our first number was 4, and I think but that didn't,
That-
I don't know if that was postcards, was that a
Yeah,
mailer?
that was
What
for
would your
mailing.
postage be, probably another
Hmm?
1,800 bucks?
Yeah.
I
I
think you should do the graphic artist piece of letter mail.
No.
I
Nope.
agree.
I think we should,
I want mine.
I think we should appropriate monies, 4,000 from Nicole, and then whatever the cost of the
Plus
postage,
what
plus,
cost?
plus the cost of postage. Does anybody,
I just think that's a lot of money to send out postcards. That's not, I mean,
it is a lot of money, but,
You know what, how do we notify people?
We're gonna, she was charging how much for this?
but it wasn't
Yeah,
just
I
for
don't
that.
know.
It's time,
It's
it's time and getting it out there.
So-
The
But,
postcard,
but don't, let's just give a number, we won't tell her a number.
Right, we
you
don't,
know,
yeah,
And maybe
not
she's
saying we're
too
gonna
much.
Not
spend
to
all that.
exceed.
Not to exceed. But we need to get some chatter amongst this community going
Agreed.
for this.
I agree.
Hopefully, and just with accurate information, and let people decide what they feel is best for them and the community. That's all, that's what we're here for. So, yeah, it's expensive, but I don't have time to do it. And Nicole's really good at it. So, you say yes on postcards?
Yeah, I think, well, like, we have to do something to every household so that they're aware. On top
Well, you
of
know,
whatever we're
postcards-
gonna do to at least make people aware of the
Not
meeting.
$4,000.
No,
Wait,
but
do
that's
we-
not the cost of the total postcard, but what do you, we're called out at,
You think
John,
it's
you were at
worth-
town meeting.
You were.
It was, I don't know if you remember that part, but
I do. I think it's a great idea, just send postcards.
I
that
agree
way
with the postcards.
everybody gets notified. Nobody can say, I didn't know about it.
Are you okay with postcards?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm
Yeah,
with you. I think a
yeah,
lot of people
it's
just
a lot
chuck
of
it
money.
away, but I,
Um,
I mean,
I mean,
I
you
think,
gotta, if you're in favor of the postcards, I mean, the 4,000, what is postage right now, 60
That
something?
includes.
yeah, but there's a
includes the
special
postage.
rate on
No, I
postcards.
know there is, so 4,000 really, yes, it's a lot of money, like you're saying, but that's really
Not a
the
lot.
postage, which is,
I'm saying,
is
is
horrible.
postage included in that?
Oh,
no,
No.
I'm
I
just
think
saying.
postage is on top of that.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, 4,000 would go plus the cost of that.
Yeah.
The other methods, real quick, I've discussed.
So hold on, I think we should vote on this.
Okay, I would make a motion that we spend 4,000 with capital strategic at the discretion of, Christie can call you, Bill, can call us and run it by us
Don't
Okay.
put all that in the motion.
in case we have a,
Pending the cost.
4,000 with that
But-
was-
You
but,
say pending the cost?
That was
on your
hey,
motion?
if she calls and says, we do postcards, is this
He
what it's
goes
gonna
crazy
cost?
on
Yeah, go back to your motion.
We're on a motion.
Motion to spend 4,000 with capital strategic on getting the word out about the meeting, and additional funds to be used for costs associated with postcards.
Do you want to hear a second?
Could I amend that to pending the costs?
Of the postcards?
Are you not gonna notify the public of our meeting? That's the
No,
only thing. that's what
I think it should be, everything has a price, don't you think there's always a price
I'm with
benefit
you.
to everything?
Yep.
Yeah. How about capping it? Did you put 4,000 on that?
I put 4,000 in capital strategic. I could cap the whole thing out at 5 or 6. I don't know.
As a chair?
I don't, can I
Can the chair
You
second?
can't
And
second.
then-
I can.
You can.
On a small board,
I'll second.
I want to be on the record as, no.
All right.
Or abstain. I'm halfway
No,
between.
no, yes or no, whatever one you
Yeah,
want.
I'm opposed to the price. I'm opposed to the price.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm opposed to the
If
price
it
too, but how do
included
we,
the
how
postage,
how else do we say that we notified everybody?
Okay, all those in favor?
come in at a lower, you could come in at a lower price.
So what?
Two ayes and a no.
So, but Bill, we'll get the quote, we'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be like, oh, this is better than I thought.
I'll change my
Maybe
vote.
we'll all fall,
Change my-
we'll all fall out of that chair.
But we have to notify all the residents. Back to my other, that I suggest that we meet every Wednesday until this, and maybe our agendas can be shorter, maybe we can get out of here before 7
That's
o'clock.
not possible, but, I don't know if you saw my eye roll, but, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm okay with it, but I will tell you that our military, the 17th or 16th, is Wednesday day, I'm sorry, I won't be able to get you
So,
to DC somewhere.
Is that the next one? The next meeting?
No, it was not a scheduled meeting.
Next meeting is the 13th,
13th.
and then we have the 20th, and the 27th.
The 20, well, now that we have,
Yeah.
I will not be here on the 20th, so.
Okay, well, maybe as we get closer at each meeting, we can decide whether we're not gonna have that meeting or not.
Yeah, so, all right, so why don't we wait till next, we have our regular one next Wednesday, go from there.
Okay. I'm okay with that, I agree. Anything else, Mr. Bush?
Nope.
Mr. M?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not a word.
No, it's a little sad.
I'm looking at the time.
Oh, we're retired, remember, it didn't matter.
I'm retired.
We're going to John's afterwards. I have nothing else.
I just have two quick things.
Sure.
Well, might not be too quick. One, it was we were talking about it last meeting, the survey closes tomorrow. So, I know we had talked about
DEP wants that survey as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the survey closes tomorrow, so we should hopefully get results by the end of the week and we'll put it all together. The other thing is, Joe with Public Access, called me today and stated that, she just called me this afternoon, said that the Lunenburg Citizens for Affordable Clean Water reached out and they are recording a video on May 12th that they want posted all over social media about, she didn't know exactly what it was about, so she had to call me back. But she said that it was to, in her words, expand the water district resources and build a treatment plan. So she said because it's a public, or political thing, she said, she has to extend that invitation to us as well.
So what's the invitation to?
Well, the fact, I don't know, the way she made it sound was that this Citizens for Clean Water is, doing some, I don't know, that's the hard part, there are Citizens for Clean Water, but they don't reach out to the water district. So I don't know specifically what this video is about, but she said, as being in charge of the public access, she has to give the water districts the right and the same amount of time on public access TV as she is giving this other group. So she called to say, so I said I would express it to the board. That's all she said to me, was let me know if you guys want to do a video. I don't know if it's in response to the citizens group or what it is. But she just said they reached out to her. She's doing a video for them on May 12th to then be publicized on social media everywhere. Would we like to do the same?
Bill, do you know anything? I mean, you're part of the group, I mean.
Oh, no, I heard that they were thinking about doing the presentation,
So did
and
you guys
I'm
want to
trying to
get the
think,
town
there
hall?
was a discussion about a
Well,
A
video.
video?
Right, I feel that if there's gonna be a video on this, on PFAS and treatment plants and whatever, by a private group, what's to stop them from putting out information that's completely false?
They do that all the time.
In where, like, I don't,
The crap that comes out is insane.
Are there like members
is.
of your citizens
Excuse
group
me,
that
are
are,
you addressing me?
No, the dickhead next to you.
Excuse me, sir, can you
no,
please
no,
have that
no,
would?
no,
Yeah,
no.
thank
No!
you. Thank you for.
Mr. Chairperson, control,
That's out of line. That is out of line.
that's out of
Bill.
line.
It was out of line.
That was-
Calm down, you're
Yeah.
gonna blow your head off.
Bill,
listen,
do
that was
you
not
know,
allowed.
Yeah, I
Please,
believe-
please
okay.
refrain.
I will.
Do you know in the group of the Citizens for
You argue with that?
Water?
Hey.
Stop, all right.
Right, come on, let's just
In
get
your,
this
in
done.
your group of citizens, are there,
My group.
in the group that you are a part
I do
of,
communicate with people
Okay.
who are in
Okay.
that group.
who in
and-
that group
Yeah.
has water licenses, or has spoken to DEP, or has spoken to the water district, or has been a part of making this affordable decisions?
I have no idea who speaks to the water.
Would
well,
you-
You know who speaks to the water district.
Nobody does.
Oh,
You're the only
oh.
one that I know that from the Citizens for Water that's a member. So when they post on Facebook and everything, it's always anonymous. So they claim they're not members, they are members, I don't know. But if they're creating a video about, which I don't know, the only reason we knew about it is because Joe stated that that she has to give us the same time, because it's a political thing, she said. So my question to you as a member of this group, what are they doing?
I would
And
say
how
if
does-
your contact is Joe, I would go back to her and ask for more details.
No,
I
she's
don't-
with the Public Access TV.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh.
asking you as a member of the
Well,
citizens
even so,
group,
that's the one who contacted you?
because somebody from the Lunenburg Citizens
Well, then I
contacted
would-
her.
I would ask her then who to contact for this affordable,
So you as a member, you don't want
I
to,
don't speak for anybody.
no, I'm asking you, would you be able to find out who in the group?
I
No.
don't think I could even do that. I'm pretty sure I can't, because this whole thing about conflict of interest, they said, I cannot be an agent for another group, nor can I be an agent for you into another group. So,
Okay.
I'm not messing
Okay,
around
so
with that.
so long story short,
Yeah.
the option is there. This can be tabled, this just came up, so you guys can all think about it. If you want me to put it on the agenda for next week, I will. It could be an opportunity to get this out on public access if you'd like. She just reached out, so we can table it for now. I will put it on the agenda for next week. I just wanted to let you know that
I like
that's.
to table
what the
for
phone
now,
was.
however, if it's possible to reach out to her to maybe grab
Yeah,
some more
that's right.
information off this, I'd be,
Ask her.
Sure.
I'd be
Ask her.
very
Okay.
interested.
I will. I'm done.
I think it would be nice if people wanted to have a discussion about things. There are platforms to have those discussions. We aren't unilaterally having these discussions here.
So do you want
That,
me
you
to
know, I just,
ask somebody
I
from the
guess I'm
Lunenburg
frustrated in the whole
Citizens?
working together thing.
So if I reach out to Joe and say, well, who was it that requested to do this? Do
Doesn't
you
matter.
want me, does the board want me to reach out to the Lunenburg citizens and say,
I think you're going on, they have the right to do this. She's just offering the same opportunity.
okay, I understand
So
that,
if we
I'm
wanna
just,
do it, let's do it. If we
Okay.
don't, we don't.
okay,
And we can't, we
Okay.
won't know what it is until it happens.
okay,
Okay.
alright,
Anything else, Chris?
nope.
Anything else across the board? No? Do we have any public comment?
Yes,
Sir.
Podium, please.
glad. John Fortune, 50 Hemlock Drive. First of all, I want to tell you, I'm personally insulted by what was stated by the superintendent here. I have come here to try to help, and actually I had a public comment that was really trying to be helpful, but I am not going to do it now. It is ridiculous. You wonder why people don't want to come here. It's for those types of comments that come out of mouths like that. It's ridiculous. You allowed it. You didn't stop it until somebody finally said something. You really need to be better at what you're trying to do here. That's all I have to say.
Sir?
Andy Stavasky, went to Green Court. I fully agree with him. And you allowed Mr. Esposito to rant and rave. I think you, as a chairperson, are not living up to your responsibilities.
Well, I completely disagree with you. As soon as he said that, I squashed it right away. I disagree with you 100%. Don't question my integrity or character into this, okay?
I'm not gonna come to meetings and be slurs.
I didn't slow you.
Fran?
Mr. McNamara.
Look at me, okay? It's been addressed.
Okay, very good. I'm coming here tonight because I'd like to get a status on my action item, my agenda item, that since March I've been requesting to have put on this meeting.
Understood.
Can you give me a date when we'll have that?
I would like to schedule that for the next meeting.
Okay.
So that'd be next week. You
I,
have,
you had, sorry, may I?
Yes.
We have been focusing on trying to get this done because that is priority, because that comes up. So it has been questioned one-on-one with the commissioners of what items should be put on the agenda. And that has been pushed off because
so
of
I'm
the,
after when it will be put on the agenda.
and I will let you know when I run the agenda as was
Mr.
discussed by Mr.
Savasky,
Empty.
I'll do my best to make sure that it gets answered in next week's meeting.
Okay, I've been asking since March.
Understood.
I try to ask questions during the meeting, and they get deferred to public comment. In public comment, you say you're not gonna answer questions, to put an agenda item for me. I've done that 3 times, it gets kicked down the road. You won't answer questions on social media. Where does the public go to get questions answered? I'm asking once again for my agenda item to be put on the menu. It was very straightforward questions, yes or no, just affirmations of public fact. Very straightforward. Have you read those questions?
Do you have any more comment?
I was asking if you've read those questions.
I heard your question. I'm asking if you have any more comment.
I'm done, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I might regret this, but I definitely think that the meeting went a little hot.
That doesn't mean, yeah, you got-
No, it's not 100%,
Give me a
it's
week off.
not 100% you, and it's all of us. We all feel strongly about what we're talking about. And, you know, what people don't see is people in the public, when we're having conversations, scoffing and throwing their hands up and
Yeah, they don't see all
disbelief.
that, yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that what you did was right, because it wasn't. But that kind of behavior is, you know, and I'm working very hard at myself, because I tend to get a little hot about some things. I'm trying not to anymore, and I think that we all have to understand that we're all residents here. We all have to respect one another, and we just need to try to work harder at that. Okay?
So, would you guys be okay if I respond to Facebook posts about the lies regarding the
No.
dump site on
No.
Townsend Harbor Road?
No. We
Or
have
the
to,
landfill closer to Keating's and that,
I think that's the hard part though, is that we have tried to not answer, and then people get mad when we don't answer, but we don't answer because it feeds into lies and misconceptions and everything, so we
need to find an avenue to express some things, but no. You as a superintendent, because what happens is this meeting.
Take it all
And
personally.
the
and you
emotions
can't.
and the personal gets ahead of it, and it's, I don't believe it's how we should conduct
All right.
business,
stay
okay?
off it.
right.
See it.
yeah.
So,
And that being said, and we've said it a million times, we will post on Facebook, but we will not respond to comments on Facebook. So if
I
people
mean, I
want
don't
to
have a
comment.
problem with certain comments
If they-
here and there, if it's a
Sure.
question about,
If it's
you know,
just-
why is the
Right.
water mains
Water
are
off.
flushing,
Yeah, yeah.
what's going on,
Stuff
all
like
that
that,
kind of
but
stuff,
like-
but when people make snide remarks and questions and stuff like, well, why didn't you answer this one? Well, I'm not gonna answer a stupid question, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
If you know, so, as far as not answering ever, I'm just not gonna answer things that don't need to be addressed on social media, that are lies and manipulation, so.
There you go. Got it.
Okay, Mr. Parrish.
I'm not gonna do it at this point. I'm gonna allow the person that can't wait to say the words to say the words.
Oh. I knew that we adjourned.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
thank you.
Oh my gosh, 6:44.
Way hard.